Howdy, folks. Don't know if you can hear me. I know that I can be heard myself on YouTube because I am on YouTube right now. Hello, weirdos. But Mike can't hear me. So I guess you get to talk to me. So hey, until Mike fixes his sound problem, anybody else want to pop up? I started by saying howdy, weirdos. But he didn't. He forgot to play his intro. Sheesh. I'm gonna type this into chat here. Mike, you forgot to play your intro. Damn. Since you can't hear me, I guess you gotta try to read something. Oi! Sorry. But on the bright side, it's sunny out. And hopefully it'll be all clear to clouds because the Gemini meteor shower is happening Tuesday, Wednesday nights. Well, around 2 to 4 o'clock in the morning is the best time to see it. If you have clear skies, just look east. And of course, as Oz always says, I never see shit when you say look up. That is kind of odd. Yeah, I did even test myself. There was a slight little echo, which meant I did hear myself on YouTube itself. Yeah, look, I even put in, even LVG pop in.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, cool. And it's just Mike again. Let me put on my headphones for a second. Hang on. Okay, go ahead and talk.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine, man. You're 5x5. You're Lima Charlie.
Wow, my headphones are kind of off because I can only hear you in one ear. That's weird.
Hola.
Hola, Mrs. Cardenas. Let me fix my sound here.
Oh, man. Dude, this has been a rough couple weeks for me, bud. I had to finally break down and buy some humidifiers, man. I was so, the weather's so dry, man. And then I ended up getting a cold because of it, because all the dried stuff is now draining.
Ow. Well, I figured out why my headphones were messed up when I reset my computer. For some reason, it went all the way to the right headphones, not equal balance. Weird. And by the way, this is not a CNA stream unless something goes wrong.
Yep. That's about the size of it.
And of course, my oven is broken.
I don't get it. So it's saying you can hear through YouTube, but he can't hear through the StreamYard.
Wait, what happened to your volume? Are you away from the mic?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, you just sounded very low for a second.
Yeah, I don't know why. I've got the mic right next to me.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know about StreamYard, dude. That's why I even put in the chat, LDG, come up.
Where's
Mike, maybe you should...
lately anyway, man? He's been off the grid for a while.
I don't know. Yeah, Mike, maybe you should just go to his backstage and tell him what's going on and type in the private chat if you can't hear anything. Yeah, go backstage.
Things one I do want to say oh, damn, I'm feedbacking on you.
Yeah, that was really odd.
Oh, I want to say Happy Hanukkah to all the Jewish people out there.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Can I hear you?
Lima Charlie.
We can hear you. Can you hear us? That's the question.
I'm gonna guess.
I can hear you now, but there's still the fucking delay.
Shit, I was just about to talk shit about you.
Oh God, we got the delay thing again?
Yes, we have a delay thing, because I said that right after you said delay, and now we're going to have a delay.
How long of a delay is there? Of course, you
Seems to
can't
be
tell.
about 3 seconds.
Oh, I thought you was gonna say you can't tell without context.
Oh! That was a low blow there, buddy.
All right, I'm going to do what I did last time, so I have to go grab something. I'll be right back.
Okay, bud.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Oh man.
I used to have those video clips. I don't know what happened to them.
Oh, I forgot. What was that? Was that Nickelodeon?
No, it was NBC.
It was NBC. Okay, I couldn't remember which one.
Yeah, the Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Saturday mornings, there's a local channel that's now playing Saturday morning cartoons every Saturday. Yesterday I
Where?
woke up. It's MeTV. Yesterday I woke up and watched Roadrunner, Bugs Bunny, some hour and a half of Looney Tunes. I'm like, hell yeah, this is Saturday morning cartoons.
Dude, put the link in, man. I need to watch Saturday morning cartoons next Saturday.
MeTV. I don't know if you get that on airwaves.
I'll find something.
Yeah.
It's like a YouTube channel, I think, that plays G.I. Joe 24/7.
It's the official G.I. Joe YouTube channel. Does it?
So, I came across an interesting article. I don't know how much you're familiar with history, but I was going through this thing here, and I came across this, and I'm going to try and say the name right. Hammurabi Codes of Law.
Hammurabi. I heard of him.
What's that?
I've heard of him.
Yeah, so I was reading through the laws and everything, the history behind it. I found this completely based on a different topic. I was arguing with somebody. Well, I wasn't arguing with them. I was educating them. They just didn't want to listen. Yes, that is who I'm talking about. Looks like that ancient Babylonian code there was one of the earliest to establish, probably one of the earliest that we know of, established the idea of innocence until proven guilty.
Oh, nice.
I thought that was very interesting. I mean, I don't know a lot about the Babylonian history very well, but every now and again I come across something like that, and I'm like, that is so fucking cool to learn.
Yeah, there's a huge gap in human history. I'm like, we don't even know who invented the first comb. We don't know who was the first person to shave the hair off their face. We don't know who invented the wheel. We don't know who invented the flush toilet. Yeah, a lot of stuff is lost in human history. We don't know all about Babylon's history.
Oh no, definitely not. Let me check my mic.
But it's not me this time.
I got echo cancellation off. Yeah, I'm still coming off there. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting article I read about it, and it's kind of a very code, kind of like establishing the eye for the eye kind of thing, but also establishing the innocent or proven guilty kind of thing. I'm like, damn, all the way back in.
I could barely hear you. Can you hear
I can barely hear you, bud.
How about now?
The thing is, can you hear us?
I think you still got the delay, and we're all getting an echo off you, Elihu.
I thought I fixed that.
I thought you did too.
He says he's getting echo off of you, MD.
Is it me? I'll tell you what. I'll drop out and come back in. Let's see if that'll fix things.
No, just mute yourself and find out.
Can you hear me now?
What?
What the hell is going on with everything? What is
Yeah, I
wrong
can
with
hear
yeah.
you, but you're.
I don't think he can still hear us.
Oh no, we got delays and echoes going. Yeah, not Ryan Johnson. Same thing here. We're getting echoing.
Yeah, I hear an echo too.
Let me.
Oh, what babaloo bop bab.
All right.
Any more echoing?
I don't hear an echo now.
Good, but can you hear us?
Now, as soon as I said that, I heard an echo.
All right.
How about now?
No, it sounds like we might have got it.
Testing 1 2 3.
There
We
we
can hear
go.
you.
Looks like we got the echo out of the way.
Okay, but can Mike hear us? That's the thing.
I don't think so.
I can hear you.
And your mic is cutting in and out, Mike.
Of course it did. What's I have no idea what the hell is wrong with StreamYards lately.
Where's Pickles when we need him?
I just heard that echo.
I didn't hear the echo. That's weird.
I did from NB.
I'm not hearing anything now.
It's gone.
Okay.
But at least I can hear you guys without a freaking delay now.
Well, that's good. So anyway, I was talking when I was talking with Eli about, I don't know if you heard, Mike. I was talking about the
Nope.
well, Mrs. Val put it in. I was talking about this king of Babylonia that basically established like one of the earliest, possibly the first idea of innocence until proven guilty.
Be right back.
Is that what she said, Hammurabi?
Yes, that's who I was talking to because I wasn't sure if I was pronouncing it right.
Ah. Well, I'm sure that Hammurabi is an anglicized version.
But yeah, I was just I was on. I had to deal with. I was dealing with some idiot on Twitter, and I was researching some stuff because that's how I piss most people off is I shove facts in their face, and I ended up coming across this thing about Hammurabi's laws, codes of conduct, the laws for the trading and the business and all that stuff. And I thought it was very interesting how it was very much eye for an eye kind of thing, but I would say for the time that's understandable because you want harsh laws to prevent people from doing stupid shit. So it's like, hey, if I steal this, I'm going to get my hands cut off. Maybe I don't want to steal that bread today. But yeah, it turns out there was like 282 laws that he put into place that kind of set a lot of standards around that area. So, I need to read more up about it.
I still wouldn't want to live underneath most of those laws.
I'm not saying you would, but I mean, if you're back then, it was actually probably very civil. They were very civilized laws back then.
Compared to other areas of the time, probably, but compared to now, it would be like living under a barbarian.
Oh, you mean
Well,
2016?
yeah.
You mean 2016? Okay.
They had laws like if you speak ill of the king, you're put to death.
Well, I like the fact that what I read up on there is like, the innocent to proven guilty part. It's like they would not pass sentence until a guilty verdict was brought in before the judge. And I'm like, well, that's interesting.
Well, remember that's also only applies to citizens
No,
and men.
actually, when I read up on this, is they had their justice system was broken down into the class system: the elites, the freed people, and the slaves. It also actually established commerce for how much something would cost if you're like an elite, a free person, or a slave. So, for example, it said in one of these, say you see the doctor, whatever the doctor was called back then. A rich person might pay 10 shillings, or the elite would pay 10 shillings. The freed people would pay maybe 5 shillings, and then if a slave came in, they would be billed 2 shillings. So they had a interesting class structure going there too, but they applied their laws to it.
So basically, the poorer you were, the cheaper you paid. Nice.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Nice. Rich pay the fare. Nice.
Oh, also, another thing that they said in here was one of the laws was if you're with a merchant,
I was going to make the joke. No wonder the Babylonians finally fell. They were socialist.
Well, one of the other things that I thought was interesting was the idea of a receipt for purchase and payment. That was actually something that merchants and people would do. They'd have to give receipts to each other for purchase and stuff. And that was part of the trading and things. And I was like, wow, smart idea all the way back then. But yeah, I found I found that amazingly interesting.
Well,
Sorry,
I'm not trying to discount what you're saying, but I want to show off something. I'm going to try to do this without too much of an issue.
You are roboting.
Last night was a Christmas party for I'm roboting.
Mike, you are. Yes, very badly. It's like roboting and every other syllable.
Did you catch For All Mankind?
Dude, when she started scratching that screen, first thing that came to my mind was asteroid. I'm like, yep.
This season seems to be, I think, is going to be more condensed. Because did you catch the point where they said that it only takes now a month to get to Mars?
Yeah. And a day to get to the moon.
Yeah, I know. It's like, wow.
Well, they're using ion engines. That's why.
Yeah, I know. But one of the things I've noticed is if you look at so think about the history here. When did the Halon 3, was that introduced in season 2 or 3?
Well, what you mean? What, Halon 3?
Not the Halon, the whatever the ion drive. When did that come into play? Was that
season 3?
Yeah, season 3.
Yeah, when they went to Mars. When it was going to Mars.
Yeah, and that was the 90s. So we're already looking at a point. There are a lot of things that I could say historically that I remember from the 90s, considering that was pretty much my teen years and my adulthood. And then we get into the 2022. So we can definitely say when they made this all the way back in the beginning of the show, that because we've been focusing on the space race and we've moved to an alternative energy for the most part that was easy to manufacture, cheap to produce and everything. So obviously the interest in the Middle East is virtually non-existent.
Thanks to Al Gore.
No, I would say
it happened during Gore's presidency. It happened during Gore's presidency. All that stuff happened.
No. I don't think it all happened under Gore. I mean, we had President Wilson, I think, established several of those because remember, she won that second term.
Hmm.
But yeah, so like a lot of Middle East problems we had over our time and a lot of other places. Obviously that's not a big factor anymore.
No.
So probably, well, obviously the USS Cole did not happen, and 11 obviously didn't happen.
Hey, if there's no conflict in the Middle East, I would love to go visit the museum in Baghdad. before the U.S. military got to it.
Oops. We were having
dude, that was the most decorated, compact, educational, historical place in the Middle East. They had stuff about 4 to 5,000 years there in that museum. Now the oldest thing they have there is about 6 months old. A sign that says no trespassing. Damn U.S. military.
Hey, I wasn't in during that time, so don't blame me.
Okay, let me rephrase that comment. Damn soldiers who went into the city.
Oh man. Well, this last episode of Monarch, I'm gonna say, was kind of
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't watched it yet.
I would just say it was I would say it was the weakest of the so far.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna watch it today after SNL.
No, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's bad. I felt this episode was kind of slow. I get why they had to do it the way they did. I just thought it was a little slow paced this time around. This episode was. I did like the whole hydrogen bomb thing. That was actually interesting.
You mean the last episode?
Yeah, from the previous episodes with the younger Shaw and all of them.
Yeah, but Bikini Atoll happened in July 24th, 1946. It was a 21 kiloton subsurface blast on Marshall Islands. That did not really happen. It was technically there, but the wrong time frame. I have a poster of Operation Crossroads on my wall, so I know what I'm talking about.
Did you go see Godzilla -1?
Oh my gosh! Oh fuck you! The trailer shows 10% of the action. Holy shit!
What's that?
The trailer shows only 10% of the action. Holy shit! I was very impressed.
What was it they said? It was a $50 million budget?
Like it's about $65 million budget, made like $300 million opening weekend. Like holy shit! Yeah, I understand why. 186 million, I think, domestic. Like yeah, I see why. Highest grossing film for a domestic movie in the United States.
Yeah, and I think it's still #1 at the box office right now. Let me check Box Office Mojo. Okay, Friday, The Boy and the Hair. I don't even know what the hell that is. Godzilla -1.
I got over 200 already.
I don't know. This is weird. It says only 45 million.
Huh.
I find that very hard to believe that that's all it's made worldwide. Ugh.
Oh well, in the words of Kelly Bundy, case of rum, case of rum.
Mm-hmm. Marvel's dropped to number 12.
You know, I've been trying to do laundry for 2 hours, but everybody's trying to do laundry at the same time as I am.
It's Sunday. Why are you doing laundry on a Sunday?
Because Sunday's usually the day nobody does laundry around here, but somehow everybody's doing laundry around here. There's only 3 machines working downstairs.
When I used to live in California at my apartment in Lincoln, which was right outside of Roseville, and man, I tell you what, I had to learn to start doing my laundry on the week during the weekdays because, dude, if I went in there Okay, I'm going to tell you what. There are some of these women who would go do this laundry. They're committed to it. They go in there. They have all this freaking laundry. They are like 4 or 5 washers. They've all got them in. They stay with it. And they stay till it's dry. I'm like, dude, I just come down here, throw my shit in, and then I go back to my room, and then I throw it in the dryer and come back.
That's what I do. I'm not staying down there.
Oh, good, dude. I learned very quickly, too. If I did not get my ass back down there in time when that washer or dryer went off, they would just take my shit out.
Oh, man, that sucks.
Oh, I hated that.
Don't touch my shit.
Yeah, it's like, dude, why are you touching my stuff?
I'm not going to handle your underwear.
I never did that. I almost got tempted to do it one time, and I opened the lid, and I saw it was a feet, and I pretty much knew. I was like, I do not want to see other people's underwear. I'm like,
Come
no.
down, just do your laundry in meaningful time. Don't leave it in there for an hour. Come on.
I didn't leave it in there for an hour. No, these women were like, boom, boom, boom. The moment that thing beeped, boom, they get up there, they take that shit out. It's crazy. Hi, Dandelion. She's in the private chat in the back.
Oh, I didn't see her in the back.
No, I'm not. Hello.
Hello.
That's my favorite British Canadian.
Okay, I was trying to move everything so I could actually talk without it roboting. Am I roboting now?
You're
No.
not like super clear, but you're not roboting.
You're good.
Yeah. You seem really loud.
Because I tried moving
How's that?
everything closer to the router. Because I'm in Mexico. And it was just a pain in the ass to move everything.
How's the storage unit going?
Everything's finally moved over. But I had some issues locating some gold because I was stupid. But what I wanted to show everybody, last night, Mrs. Vile and I went to a Christmas party with some of her friends that are, teaching friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it was supposed to be a Secret Santa thing. Well, just by chance, Mrs. Vile got my name in the Secret Santa thing.
Oh, yeah.
She got me the hoodie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Nice. I got to get me something like that, man. I don't have one of those.
The joke I made with her, though, is... on the other side?
Yeah, right side.
Only a lieutenant.
Commander. Jeez, I saw that black dot, man.
You're a lieutenant commander.
But yeah, I'll be wearing this in future videos just for shits and giggles.
Nice.
I wouldn't blame you.
But it's a little small, but I love it no matter what.
That's
Walmart.
interesting. Well, neither of my Walmarts have one like that. I'd have to order it off of Amazon. If I was going to order one, though, I got to be honest. I really would love Picard's, that one captain's jacket that he had that would sometimes he'd wear that was open.
Oh, yeah.
I love that one. I always thought that was so fucking cool.
You can get the live action Boimler and Mariner top for about $12 on AliExpress.
Yeah, she said she got it from Walmart online because I'm like, I've been looking at my stores. There's no way in hell I saw anything like that at my stores.
That makes sense.
CNA, alcohol.
After everything that's going wrong today, I need more.
Hey, at least I made it to the gym today.
I got my cannabis, I got my nicotine, and I have a cup of coffee right now.
How is Jim doing?
Hey, Dandelion, did you go on a hike today?
I did not. I'm actually going to go into Vancouver today to finish my Christmas shopping. I was out walking yesterday, but I didn't go for too long because it was really it was somewhat wet, which was surprising because all the rain turned into its solid form, which was kind of weird. Doesn't happen here too often.
I've had a rough couple of weeks. The weather getting cold and stuff has made the air dry. So I had to buy some humidifiers yesterday because I kept waking up at like 2, 3 in the morning, couldn't breathe, and now it's all breaking up. But I took Friday off of working out, and then yesterday, I was like, nope, it's all broke up. I'm coughing like crazy. I'm like, I'm not going. I wasn't feeling the greatest today, but I still went. My son, thank God for my son.
Well, don't push yourself too hard if you're under the weather. It's actually good to take some time off if you're not feeling well, because sometimes if you overstress yourself when you're not feeling good, you wind up getting even sicker and then have to take even more time off.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that I got sick. I did the few months, I did like over 3 months doing workouts at the house, then went to the gym. Knew I was probably going to get sick by the second week, but I always call the second week the hardest week. First week is one thing, second week is really the hardest. But I got my 4 days in, so that was good.
Nice. Very good.
Yeah, I took it light today. Mostly my goal was to get my mile walk in.
Right. Good. Yeah, I just got up and showered. It's almost 9 o'clock here, so it's pretty early. It hasn't been light long enough to have gone for a hike.
So today should be a good day to go wander around downtown because yesterday there were several thousand drunk Santas.
Oh. I'm just hoping the roads have cleared up. They were pretty slippery yesterday, and a lot of people here don't have snow tires. So I have snow tires. The person I'm going into the city has snow tires, but I know a lot of people out here never get snow tires.
You have 4-wheel drive?
I'm living in Southern California. I don't know what snow tires are.
Yeah, we don't have them
Well, I
up here.
wouldn't expect you to know what snow tires are.
Yeah, you do if you lived in NorCal. Mike, have you guys ever gone over Donner's Pass in the winter?
Yes,
No.
I have.
Eli, who knows what I'm talking about then?
It's not as bad as Widow. It's not as bad
I know
as.
what snow tires are. I'm making the joke because I don't ever need something like that here.
Dude, Donner's Pass is not as bad as Widow's Pass.
No.
In Yosemite, Widow's Pass is a 90-degree downhill.
Damn.
Yeah, they closed that thing a couple years ago.
Yeah, I
There's an accident
remember.
like once a month.
I remember going to Donner. I remember going over Donner's Pass on a weekend, and it was because I was dating a girl in Reno. So I went over to spend the weekend with her, and the snow got bad. The snow was bad when I started driving over there. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, they're going to shut down the pass. I made it over, and then like an hour later, they shut the pass down. And I had to call my boss, and I was like, I'm in Reno. I'm not making it I'm going to be late to work tomorrow until they open the pass.
They opened the pass for you?
Huh?
Wait, did I misunderstand that? They opened the pass just for you?
No. I couldn't go back home until the next day when it was open. No. It was by the time I got to Reno, and the pass had been shut down. It was pretty much going to be shut down for the night. So I had to call my boss and say, like, I'm not going to be making it tomorrow till a certain time.
Hey, Daddy.
Hey, Mike. Somebody hacked into your daughter's computer because apparently she's awake right now, which is virtually impossible. So someone must have hacked into her system.
That actually is kind of strange. Maybe it isn't really Caddy. Maybe the person will come up that's actually my daughter.
Yeah, that is kind of odd.
So one time also went Donner's Pass when I was coming back from Reno with the girlfriend I had at the time. Dude, man, I saw this SUV flipped over. got out, ended up helping it, and there was like 5 freaking family members stuck in that fucking thing. Yeah, it's her.
Well, that's just further evidence that it's her. I won't believe it until she actually comes up on the panel.
Hey, Dandelion, what's the average snow you get per year during this time of the year? Gosh, she might not be there. Oh, hey, what's up with this news I'm hearing? Your guys' California's got a deficit.
Oh, it just means that we accumulated more in taxes than we are spending.
I think that means you accumulate less in taxes than you're spending, not more.
That would be a surplus, not a deficit. A deficit is when you spend more than you collect.
Yeah.
I was thinking the other way around because I'm just with everything with StreamYards. Forgive me for being weird or for not paying attention.
Nah, just it popped up.
That is not Caddy. That is an AI alternated voice.
No, the only reason I'm awake is because I'm at a friend's house. Hello, said friend. Hello.
Hey, sweetheart. Were you paying attention earlier when I showed off what Mrs. Vile got me for a Christmas party we went to last night?
No.
She just got in.
Yeah. Oh, you must love that.
Oh, yeah.
But Mrs. Cardenas is the captain.
Yeah. She made sure I'm a lieutenant commander, not a captain or an admiral.
I mean, I don't blame her.
So I might need to borrow your phaser for a bit.
Wait, you don't have your own?
I haven't had my phaser in a very long time.
I'll have to go locate it out of my closet.
Oh, wait, that reminds me of something. Hang on a second. Where is it? Here it is.
Yeah, well, we had one sad thing today. We had to have a funeral for one of our guinea pigs.
No, that's sad. Which guinea pig?
He lived to be 5 years, which is
What's his name?
Coco.
Coco.
Yeah, and it's this time last year we lost Sophia, but she passed away at 3. So all we have now is of the guinea pigs. We only have Harley left. And you had my cat Caramel, who likes to stare at the guinea pigs. Literally was looking like, what's going on here? Where's the other one?
Aw. Well, why didn't you get to eat that one when it died?
No, we buried it out.
I'm kidding. I just assume cats are always thinking about what they can eat.
Oh, trust me, they've nabbed 2 mice in my house recently.
Nice. I mean, not nice that you got mice in there, but nice the cat caught them.
I was like, finally the cat got him, and I was like, man, took him a week, but man, he was hell bent on getting that little shit.
You know what's funny? Speaking of mice, one of my stores caught a pair of mice in one of their little traps in the back room. And it was freaking the hell out of the receiver because it was right next to the receiver's desk. She was telling me that she was just sitting there doing paperwork waiting for a delivery, and then all of a sudden she hears this metal on metal sound that she'd never heard before. So she's looking around for what's causing it. Then she looks underneath the desk and sees 2 mice fighting in the little cage underneath her desk that's been sitting there for years. And it finally caught them.
Huh.
I had yesterday, I think it was yesterday or the day before, it was one of those days I was up late. I was up early, and all of a sudden I hear this, and I'm like, oh shit, is my other cat Moke outside? Because I'm like, if he is, and he's in his, we have a tree house here, and that's his place, and we have some stray cats who like to come and try and get in there. Yeah, he wants nothing of that. He's like, you're not coming in my place. So I had to go outside and look for him. And man, he was getting into a scrap with this cat, and cat saw me bolted, and then my cat looked at me and he's like, okay, you can take me in now, bitch.
Thank you.
Awesome. Head out. I'm just trying to make a joke.
Hey, Mike, if you share my screen, I found something for all the Star Wars lovers.
What happened to Caddy?
Hi, Caddy.
We lost Caddy.
She hath left us.
This is the Mini Saber Gen 2. I saw a video on this, and I'm like, okay, this has got to be fake. Nope. This guy used this to cut logs in half. He was doing some logging. Basically, it's a huge lightsaber. It's actual working lightsaber. You can change colors on it. It's $85. I mean, it's a nice hilt to it, good handle, and a real flame that cuts.
Hmm.
Oh, that doesn't sound too dangerous at all.
Nope.
No, it doesn't.
It's probably one of those things, like, it can't really cut through much except like butter.
No, this is the actual pictures. This is what it looks
It looks
like.
like a little mini blowtorch. It looks more like a little blowtorch.
Yeah,
than
exactly.
A lightsaber.
I don't
Okay.
think
So you
I'm
could
not-
use it for making creme brulee.
Oh, when you look,
Now I want creme brulee. I haven't had that in ages. I love creme brulee.
Sorry,
I don't think I've ever
already
had creme brulee.
people hurting themselves with that because they're stupid.
what is stupid?
Creme brulee? You don't like creme brulee?
No, I've never had it.
Oh, it's really good.
It's like a pudding where they burn the top with a blowtorch.
Yeah, it's like a really fancy vanilla pudding with burnt
I
sugar.
found this out, guys. I only live 90 minutes from where the Connor's house was filmed, from Roseanne.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna have to go.
I only live about 5 minutes from where Silk Stockings, Veronica Mars, and a few other shows were filmed.
I live within a 30-minute drive or 40-minute walk from about a dozen different movie locations and TV locations.
Yeah.
I live just up the street from this house from the Smallville show.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Nice.
And the diner that's been in like a gazillion different TV shows.
I
Like,
grew
oh,
up
you know-
in-
Fringe and
That
X
was,
Files.
You know the famous
When I-
diner that was in Top Gun?
Yeah.
I used to go there all the frickin' time because I worked so close to it in downtown San Diego.
Cool.
And
What-
they play it off as being really close to Miramar, and it's like a 30-minute drive.
Well, when I was a kid,
I've never been down to Miramar.
hey, when I was a kid, I ate at the actual Mel's Diner in Phoenix.
Mm.
So I want to. Hey, I got a Facebook post I want to share with you real quick. This is my motivator, my personal trainer. He's my 16-year-old son.
I went and ate at Molly's Reach the last time I was in Gibson's. That was in the Beachcombers, which none of you have ever seen.
I don't think I have. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've seen it.
You wouldn't have. It was Canadian and very Canadian.
I
Very
live
cool though. You should. Well, I mean, it's from like the 70s, 80s
Well,
kind of thing. So if you look it up, it's like, whoa, this is oldie timey.
I live a 10-minute walk from the original location of Mel's where American Graffiti was filmed, and also in another direction, 10-minute walk from the Shang-Chi bus accident.
Cool. Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, a lot of films get filmed in like Vancouver and that. So
Yeah.
I've driven down the road where they like blow shit up in Deadpool. which describes all of Deadpool.
You've probably been to a lot of places where Stargate has been filmed too.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. Oh, and where I go hiking is the usual like Lost in the Woods scenes from X-Files. You know, whenever they have to like get stopped by something in the middle of the road, the car stops, and then they go wandering looking for lights in the woods. Yeah, that's where I go hiking.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think
You're trying to find Mulder, aren't you?
First Blood was also partly filmed there.
Are you trying to find Mulder?
Nope. He slept with Tia Leone. I'm icked out by him now. Boy, I just that particular some actors, some actresses are just nope for me.
You're upset just because she played Scully on the show, aren't you?
She didn't play Scully on the show. Tia
Yes,
Leone.
she did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was,
she played. And Gary Shandling as well played Mulder.
Gillian Anderson played Scully. What the hell is wrong with you?
what the hell, man?
Watch your X-Files. There was a show inside a show about them making a show about the characters. Tia Leone played Scully. Gary Shandling played Mulder because his famous line is like, "Hey, how do you dress?" Mulder's like, "To the left, mostly." Then-
I don't know.
then
No,
the next
I
episode, you see
remember her
Ryan
mostly
in
from.
underwear.
I remember her mostly from Bad Boys.
Oh, I had X-Files fan guys. Sorry, I'm like
Hmm.
in the show.
Yeah, I don't really remember bit part people on the show. Like,
No, I'm gonna be completely honest. When it comes to X-Files, I think they should have ended it after the movie, the first movie. That really should have been the end of the series.
It should have ended when Robert Patrick showed up. I'm sorry.
Robert Patrick was actually pretty decent.
No, they tried to fill a Mulder-esque style. That's when Scully all of a sudden turned into the Mulder character, and he became the Scully character. I'm like, no, come on.
I know that did suck, but give Robert Patrick credit, man. The guy's a good actor.
He is, but he should never. They should never continued with the show.
Well, I'm finishing up season 8 of SG1, and I'm gonna get to season 9, and honestly I'm stopping after that because I really don't see the point in watching the other 2 seasons.
It's
And
worth
it's not
it.
because of the actors. I mean, they brought the Farscape. They brought 2 excellent Farscape actors over. I love that, but I just didn't see the point. I've watched it several times. I remember the first time watching. I'm like, I don't really need the movie, and I don't need to watch past season 9.
You don't want to see Ball try to erase everybody, huh?
No, actually, Ball was one of the few things I liked about it. I just didn't really care for the Ori. Be honest, I didn't care for the Ori story.
I feel the same way. NB, I think the Ori was a mistake because it's like they finally get rid of most of the Goa'uld, the replicators, and they just have to create this new threat for the last 2 seasons. No.
oh, they always have to have some threat, and that's the problem with like the show getting extended beyond its like natural. You know, like the writers of the show kind of have a arc in mind, right? And they're like, okay, we're probably ending this. We're ending this season. We're gonna kill the bad guys, and then oh no, let's do another season. Then you got to come up with new bad guys. It's like, damn it.
Well, actually, it's interesting because if you look at the way Stargate happened, there were actually 3 different times the show ended.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was when it was on. What was it originally on? Showtime, right?
UPN.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it wasn't on
Nothing's
UPN.
on the right channel here.
Yeah, it was on like Showtime here, and then they canceled the show, and I believe Sci-Fi picked it up after that. Back when Sci-Fi was still Sci-Fi, and not Syfy.
Yeah.
Yes, I call it Syfy.
Well, it's
But,
Syfy lives.
well, there were originally was because I watched something on this on YouTube recently. It was about they kind of ended it. It was like there was supposed to be the few seasons they did, and then they were going to go to a movie. The movie didn't happen, so they made another season. And then they actually were talking about because Richard, Dean Anderson was ready to step away. He's like, hey, that's why he gets promoted and everything. He takes a step back in the ninth season. And then by the 10th season, he's just like, dude, I'm done. He's like, I want to spend time with my family. It's been a good run. And I believe they were originally thinking of renaming the show and rebooting and calling it Stargate Command, which might have been the better option, I think.
Well, see, what I to go back a little bit with what you're saying, they already introduced a better villain, I think, than the Ori, and that's the Lucian Alliance.
Yes, I would agree with that.
And that would have made more sense because the Lucian Alliance is using older gold technology. They're more on par with Earth, and it could be them trying to politically maneuver throughout the galaxy, winning and losing battles with each other for the next season until, maybe someone even worse, not even worse, but like someone within that organization is trying to take it over to actually start a war with Earth specifically. And they're all, make it more of that political intrigue show.
Yeah, that could have worked. Hold that thought on that one, Mike, though. I got to go Geloja.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Eli, who? Oh, you're not there. I was going to ask, he was saying something about there being it's not the Perseids. What's this meteor shower this week? Looks like it's going to be cloudy on Wednesday. I'm hoping you can see some on Tuesday night because it might be clearer.
The Gemini meteor shower.
The Geminids, right. And that's Wednesday, though?
Yeah, it'll peak Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay.
It's already happening. It's already happening, but the peak is Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm not. It's too chilly to be sitting out at night hoping to see some shooting stars.
I saw one last night.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice. Did you go out of the city, or did you see it from in the city?
Oh, I was at the pier.
Okay, nice.
Oh, hey, Mike. One thing I did like about the other season, those latter two seasons, one was a joke made, that little tongue-in-cheek thing where it's like the two people from Farscape. She's like the one who played, I can't remember her name. The one who played the Peacekeeper.
Oh,
and
shit.
she goes, have you ever heard of a miraculous conception? And everybody's kind of like, all the humans are kind of thinking Jesus. And you got Teoki goes, Darth Vader. And I was like, oh, that was a great answer.
Sorry, that was Mrs. Vile. She's heading out, so I'm going to mute myself because I'm literally standing in front of her car, and she has to head out. So I'll be right back.
Okay.
He doesn't want to get run over. I gotcha. Knowing her, yes.
Run over in Mexico?
Knowing her, she would move it or lose it.
I will say this. I've been to Canada. I've never been to Mexico.
Nora.
I was kicked out of Canada.
Why? For being Californian?
No, it was when I was 23, 24. I was walking, doing some little hiking. Asked Highway Patrol which way is the border crossing. He pointed in the direction. I walked up there, past a little fence, saw a little marker. Next thing I know, about 10 Mounties had jumped me saying I just jumped the border illegally.
Where? Up here in Canada?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, yeah. I mean, honestly, if you're driving down Zero Ave, there's the road, and then one side of the road is Canada, and the road is Canada. But if you step off the road on the south side, it's the States. Basically, 1 foot off the road is the States. There's houses on the road that are in the States.
Yeah, the officer didn't tell me that. He's like, just go up that road. I'm like, okay.
But they have their own road. They have a road on their side as well. On
hey,
your
look,
side.
it's PJ.
Hey, BJ.
Good
I
morning,
don't know why
BJ.
people did that, but anyway.
Oh, well.
I'll tell you what.
smiling.
I'll tell you what. The biggest thing I remember about being in Canada was going from New York side to the Niagara, going over the Niagara side. We went to, I don't know what lake or wherever we went over there. I just remember the lake water being so god dang freaking clear. I'm sitting there, I'm swimming in this, what I think is a small lake, and I'm like looking down and I can see the freaking bottom. I mean, it's just so damn clear. I'm like, what is that? Like a couple of feet down? I stick my head down, it's 20 feet down.
Yeah, that's usually a sign of acid rain. It's killed off all the algae and stuff in the lakes.
I'm gonna go do some stuff.
Now, granted, I did that back in the. Now, granted, that was all back in the. That was I did
When
that back
was
in the.
like
80s.
whereabouts was that? Like if you cross at Niagara, I'm trying to think what lake other than like Lake Erie and Lake
Erie.
Ontario.
I was thinking Erie. I'm like, yeah, where, dude?
But then you don't necessarily have to
Dude,
cross.
it was the 19. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was 7 years old. It was 1987, so I don't remember.
No,
Oh, okay.
that's totally cool. But if you like drove into Canada, there's lots of lakes. So
I
Yeah,
did
in the mute,
enjoy
so I don't
very
make
much
much
watching.
noise.
I did very much enjoy seeing the light show on the Canadian side of the Niagara Falls.
Mm.
That was really beautiful. I remember that.
If you want to know how clear the water is around here, just look at any satellite view. You'll see Ocean Beach, the Pacific Ocean, blue. The San Francisco Bay, green.
Yep. I think I've seen that.
Yeah, you do not want to go swimming in the bay. No.
Let me tell you something. I went swimming in the Mississippi River back in St. Louis.
And you survived? You survived?
Yes, I
episode?
survived. Thankfully, I only got strep throat.
Wow. Because, like, who the hell willingly dives in that water?
Wait, which part of the Mississippi River?
Any part. It's the Mississippi.
St. Louis part.
Oh, dang, because down closer to the actual Mississippi side, I've gone swimming in that river. Just to say I did, and I didn't remember getting sick. But again, I was really young, like 8 years old-ish.
I was 17 at the time. So it was 97, 98 time frame. And yeah, I went swimming in it. Next thing I know, I've got strep throat. So, not hard to put 2 and 2 together.
If you ever went to New Orleans before 2005, you will see the safety buoys 15 feet. That's about it, because you don't want to go any further because you got the undertow.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I just saw that myself.
And how you doing, Darren?
Doing good. What's up?
How long have you been listening?
A minute or two. I heard about the Mississippi River.
You haven't seen it yet. I'm going to show you the present Mrs. Vile got me. Oh, sorry. I have the wrong camera showing. Hold on, I'll be right back.
She got your bars out the window so you can't escape. Wow. He really wants you in that bedroom.
Sorry, I switched the camera because Mrs. Vile didn't want to be on camera when she was going bye-bye.
Yeah, I can understand that.
You like it?
What is it? Oh, yeah, it's a little jacket. Yeah.
It's a Starfleet hoodie.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice.
What's funny is she was really concerned. She's like, what show is this even from? Because I don't know.
Oh my good.
And I explained, like, well, because the comm badge has the round parts. This is more Deep Space Nine than TNG. Plus, it's got the red on top. Then the black on the bottom means it's TNG or late movie era, or sorry, Star Trek Generations era. After that, they went to the. And she's just looking at me with a glazed over face all of a sudden, like, I shouldn't have said anything.
It could also be Voyager, the totality of Voyager.
Yeah, because Voyager, they didn't update the uniforms for obvious reasons.
Which is interesting because I was talking to a guy, submarine vet like me, who got out about 2 years ago, and I was showing him pictures, and of course a lot of our uniforms in the Navy have changed from the 90s to today, and he goes and he's looking at what we used to wear, and he's just shaking his head because they shouldn't have changed it. You know, the newer
I'll tell you
uniforms
one
are
of
kind of
the
yeah.
I'll tell you one of the worst things, Darren, that bothered me was when the Navy went to those black uniforms and they
Those aren't
had
black.
your enlisted with their shiny little stuff on
Black,
there.
black is winter wear. White is summer wear.
I
Yeah,
understand that.
it's not black. It's actually called navy blue, even though yes, a civilian would look at it and call it black.
Yeah, but I
There's a
mean,
reason.
the
There's a
point.
reason for that, and we'll go into it after you're finished here. Sorry.
Well, the thing is, you know, enlisted we have subdued rank, but you know, we'd come across sailors now with bling on, and you know, it's just like automatically saluting, and they're like freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, I just saluted a guy 2 ranks lower than me.
Yeah. I noticed that too. They're putting stuff on their collars, which is usually meant that, you know, when I was in that you would, if you saw something on somebody's collar, that meant they were a chief or above, and obviously you wouldn't salute a chief because he's still enlisted. But yeah, it was a good indicator. You could whittle things down from a distance.
You could whittle it down from the peanut butter. When they were in the peanut butters, you know, all you had to do was check the cover, whether it was an officer or a chief.
Yeah. I can't stand the peanut butters. I don't think that you should wear any khaki at all until you're E7 or above. And that's you know, but so I'm looking at sailors that are E3 and E4, and I'm like, why are they wearing khakis? And then I see them from the full body, you know, full body image of them, and their pants are black, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know. But they don't even look like sailors anymore. They all wear cunt caps. The only uniforms that they wear the actual white hat with are their dress uniforms now. And that used to be, you could wear the white hat with any uniform back when I started in the Navy, even the dungarees. But the thing is, I mean, the Navy, you know, the military changes uniforms all the time, historically speaking, but not as often as on Star Trek because.
Yeah. Well, I remember. So I was in the Marine Corps when we implemented the digis. We went from the camis to the digis, and
those were impressive.
Yes, I loved those. I mean, well, shit, I didn't have to iron my uniform, so it saved on not having to buy starch. I didn't have to polish my boots anymore because we had tan boots now. I was like the suede tan boots, dude. I loved it. And then I joined the Air Force, but I remember saying this. I remember saying this back when we did that. I said, if we do this, I said every other branch is going to do it, and I was right.
Oh yeah, eventually. Yeah, you were right.
Yeah, eventually. I remember when I was
too sharp. They looked too sharp. I mean, there was no way the Army was going to allow the Marine Corps to be exclusive to that uniform. And I liked it back when the only Marines wore the digi-camis because you instantly tell that's a Marine. You know?
Here's what I found out. I was pissed. I was like, motherfuck. They actually now in the Marine Corps, they've set it up to where, like, I saw a time I was like, what are you doing in desert digis? I'm like, you're on base. He's like, oh yeah, this is summer wear now. I'm like, you wear the desert stuff in the summer? What do you wear in the winter? The green digis? He goes, yeah. I was like, motherfuck.
Yeah, the Army, I think in 2018, I want to say, retired the ACU pattern. And there's a YouTuber named Angry Cops who is a former, I think he's still in, but he's like a reservist. But he's a former drill sergeant for the Army. And he does this rant, this really, really great 10-minute rant about what a piece of trash that uniform was. And you know, he's like, you know a uniform is trash when the second a new one comes out, everybody rushes out to go buy it. Not wait for it to get issued. They go out and they buy it with the money they get to keep at the end of the month. You know?
Oh, I don't doubt it.
I don't shit, we can wear those. Yeah. Oh shit, we can wear those green ones again. Oh, I'm gonna go. I'll be at the PX getting 6 pair because I don't know what the fuck this is. You know, looking at my.
Well, originally, I remember originally when they started issuing out the digis. Before they issued them, they said you could go buy them because you weren't going to get issued them unless you were in boot camp. but originally it was only allowed for NCOs first.
Right.
And then I swear to God, like the day we non-rates could get into those things, we flooded the fucking PX.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, we had every one of those freaking things. They were gone. We were all out there looking for them, making sure we got our sizes. I had a fucked up point where I literally I had to change uniforms one time because somebody stole my freaking hat or my cover. And I had to change uniforms because of that. I was pissed. And I had to go run to. So it was kind of like either I run home and change and get a cover and then go to the PX and buy a cover, or I walk around without a cover on a Marine base outside, which is big no-no.
Okay, I have a quick question because I'm not too terribly familiar with the military uniforms, especially in the modern sense. Are you guys referring to the digital camouflage? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, digis. I'm referring to digis from the Marine Corps.
Okay, so I thought everybody hated the digital camouflage thing that they were doing.
No, we loved it in the Marine Corps. We
the
absolutely
ACU
loved it.
pattern. It's the
Now, the
ACU
ACUs,
that
on the other
they
hand,
didn't like. Yeah. Which had digital camouflage, but they were cut very differently from the uniforms that came before the fatigues, and that's what they hated. It wasn't the fact that there was a digital pattern on them, but I have so like this is my old hat. Now, when you had dungarees back then, which is like a prison uniform that's bell bottoms, you could wear your white hat with it. But when I was as soon as I got out of basic training, they said, okay, from now on you can only wear your command ball cap with those, which kind of sucked. But because even if, let's say you couldn't find something happened, you couldn't find your ball cap, you could grab somebody else's white hat and just wear that if you needed to go off the ship to somewhere and come back. But what's funny is I got a couple of these still, but then I also got this one, which is in the bag still, and because you can see it's the same style, but it's Enterprise D.
Nice.
and it has the silhouette of the Enterprise D. So I would like to collect these. I have one for as many ships as they have, but you can only find these on Etsy, and they're only available some of the time. I wanted an NX-01 one really bad.
Oh,
So
no.
Riker was wrong.
NX-01. I would love an NX-01 hat.
So Darren, Riker was
Darren,
wrong.
was that a
People do like
what?
people. I was gonna say Darren, Riker was wrong. People do like the fat one.
Well,
Hey, Darren, was that your submarine hat?
Yeah, that was Trepang's command ball cap.
What kind of sub was it? Or is it? I don't know if it's still.
Well, first of all, it was decommissioned in 1999, so I was part of the last crew that was on it. It was an attack submarine. I hesitate to say fast attack because it wasn't very fast compared to the newer Los Angeles boats at the time. I mean, okay, and I'm going to start using the actual verbiage we used. So mine a civilian would call my boat a Sturgeon class submarine, but we called them 37s. Or 637s, because that was the first boat of the class, the Sturgeon. And then Los Angeles class, we tended to call 88s or 688s, because 688 was the whole number of the Los Angeles. So because we always like to abbreviate things down and use as few simple syllables as possible, that's what we called them. But civilians would call it Los Angeles. Now, the Los Angeles class ships or boats are fast. They're still faster than the newest Virginia class attack submarines that are out there. That's how fast they were. And so we kind of jokingly called ours a slow attack, but Trepang as a Sturgeon had abilities that the newer boats didn't have. So it was all about emphasis back then. Hopefully that helps.
So did you have to share a coffin?
I had to hot rack a couple times when I was very junior. Yeah. It was where three guys get assigned 2 racks, and you just go into the one that's not occupied. You got to keep some of your stuff in one locker and some of your stuff in another locker, because you can't get into your locker while somebody's sleeping in there.
I was on the only. I was never on a sub. I did do 2 training operations on the USS Saipan and the USS Kearsarge. Now the Saipan I know has been mothballed, but the Kearsarge is still around, and they were both LHDs.
Yeah, LHDs are those are marine. I mean, those are basically marine support vessels. I think they're naval vessels, but they're really marine vessels.
Well, they
from what
are.
I
They, I
understand.
mean, well, that was the point. What we were doing, when we did the Saipan and we did the Kearsarge, we did simulated. We were in the field, and then we packed all our stuff, got it on. God dang, man! First time I seen CBs, man, those motherfuckers know how to work.
Yeah, CBs were one of the more impressive. I mean, okay, when it comes to the Navy, when you ask people what the best rate in the Navy is, they will give you 3 answers typically. They'll say corpsman, CB, and then whatever their rate happens to be. The only people who don't say that are CBs and corpsmen. They just say their rate. So, but yeah, CBs get to work with. Back when I was in, they wore the Marine Corps uniform with Navy accoutrements. It really threw us off.
Yeah, that was something
And
I noticed when I was at Camp Lejeune. A lot of
yeah,
our docks, and when I say docks people, I'm talking corpsmen,
right,
our medical
right.
corpsmen.
Yeah,
A lot of them decided to go with the Marine standard versus the Navy standard, which was something they were
right.
allowed to do. And
They were
yeah,
allowed to
it
do
was,
that. Yeah,
yeah, it did throw us off a little bit with the, seeing a sailor in a, service dress Charlie or service Charlies or service Bravos.
yeah, yeah. It's that's one of the reasons why people say that they're the best. I mean, you can have a sailor that's a CB or a corpsman that belongs to a fleet Marine Force unit, and they can wear their pin and stuff. So, uh, you get a wider range of jobs when you're a corpsman or a CB. I mean, especially a corpsman. Corpsman
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah, we loved our corpsmen, man. I mean,
yeah.
you sit there and we'd literally, like, if a Marine would fall out, it's like, you're gonna fall out? That fucking corpsman's carrying more shit than you are.
Yeah, exactly. I
No,
mean,
it's the truth. They were carrying the
yeah.
same shit we were, and they had to have the medical pack.
Yeah, our corpsman when I first arrived at Trepang, and keep in mind that a submarine corpsman has to go to a special 2-year school, intense 2-year medical school, to be the corpsman on a submarine. So this guy had already had gold jump wings, and a fleet Marine Force pin, and all kinds of stuff. When he was a younger corpsman, he did that stuff. He jumped out of planes with the Marines. And of course, he told me that when I had to start working around sailors again, I was like, yuck.
I remember
But
we had it's interesting that we had a chief, a master chief, who came into our unit, and he became our regimental. He became part of our regimental corpsman, our sick call. God, I'm forgetting the term here.
yeah,
But basically, the regimental guy, we went to sick call to see these guys, and we had this chief master sergeant who eventually became a command chief master sergeant, and he had been in 24 years, and he said he had spent 20 of those years with the Marines as a corpsman.
Yeah.
And we said, dude, you're more Marine than most of us are.
Yeah.
You know what?
Good
I think you
guys.
just comment. I think you two should start like a live stream where you guys just do your military talk for a while.
Yeah, we kind of take over once in a while, don't we?
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, it gave me a chance to go make more coffee.
Well,
now that you're back,
me and
now that you're
Marine
back, we can
Indian-
talk about other stuff.
Oh, I was listening the entire time. I was enjoying the conversation because, both my parents were in the military, but I don't know a lot about it because I never was in myself. I basically got kicked out before I even got to start.
Uniforms, though, I mean, uniforms are sometimes a real pain in the ass because you have to maintain all of them. And if you're like me, where I started out in the Navy a little bit heavier than when I got out, a lot of them were too big for me, and I looked ridiculous. But if you haven't worn your dress whites or your dress blues in a long time, all of a sudden, oh shit! In 4 days, I have to appear, in these, and you try them on. You look at yourself in the mirror, and you're like, I look like a kid trying to wear his dad's clothes in this now. That can be
what's funny about that is because I've actually done that. I've worn my dad's and my mom's uniforms at different times as a kid.
Yeah. So I mean, and what's funny is, okay, if you want it done right, at least when I was in, if you wanted your uniforms to be dry cleaned and decorated correctly, you would go to the Navy Exchange, but they take a week to do because they're backlogged. So if you need it done in a hurry, you go to a mom and pop place, usually off base, and they always fuck up your uniforms because they're doing it quickly. They don't care. They mess up your military creases. They do all kinds of, they don't put the patches on in exactly the way they should be, and then you get a hit on an inspection, and it can suck if you don't plan ahead.
Yeah. If you don't plan ahead, you are definitely in deep shit. For us, well, for me in the Marine Corps, guys, Monday was PTDA.
Hey, I remember being a kid. Envy, hold on. I wanted to say something because you guys have. What you're talking about is funny to me because I remember watching my dad iron, by hand all his uniforms, and it taking him probably all day to make sure that everything was perfect in order. And it was always weird for me to see him do that because he never cared about most of his other clothes. Like almost everything he wore had a hole in it, or it was very mismatched. It's where I got my fashion sense from, which probably pisses Mrs. Vile off today. But when it came to his Navy stuff, he was meticulous. I mean, I remember seeing him taking like a little toothbrush, not even a real toothbrush, like a smaller than average toothbrush to make sure the buttons were shiny.
Yeah.
Probably a CLP brush.
Right. And the reason for that is because you're held accountable for the status of your uniforms, whereas, I've always been more of a t-shirt and jeans kind of guy. And so, guys who wouldn't give two shits about, a stain on their t-shirt or whatever will meticulously, as you say, make sure that everything is better than it should be, just because they don't want to, yeah.
So what we did in my unit a lot was something I learned when I got to 29 Palms was when we'd have our uniform inspections, or what it's called JOB, junk on a bunk, where you have all your stuff. What we did was I got my skivvy shirts, my skivvy undies. I bought another thing of socks, and I stamped everything because in the Marine Corps you have to have everything stamped with your fucking name on it, including your underwear, your belt, everything.
Yeah.
And I put these things in a box, and they only came out when the inspection time was.
Yep.
That was the only time. I never wore any of that stuff. It was only for inspections.
Right.
Well, let's go back a little bit to change the subject, only so Elihu can actually talk, because apparently he's despondent because he knows nothing about this, and I just slightly above the nothing.
He's talked to me.
I did actually finally watch the first 2 episodes of For All Mankind season 2.
Oh, nice.
Not on season 4 yet, but I'm in season 2 now. Yay!
What'd you think?
I'm enjoying the politics, if that makes sense.
Well, for me,
what's her name? Who's I'm enjoying that.
Margaret. You're talking about Margaret, aren't you?
The chick who looks like what's her name? The one who replaced Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling in Hannibal.
Yeah, you're talking about Margaret.
Julianne Moore.
Yes, thank you.
He's talking about Margot, isn't he?
Yeah.
Why are you calling her Margaret? Nobody calls her Margaret. She's always called Margot.
I thought it was Margot. Sorry.
No, you were saying Margaret. That was throwing me for a loop for a second.
Oh.
No, I love how in each season, it's kind of like That woman is just obsessed with her job.
Yes. And they go
She's
to
good.
great lengths. She's sleeping in her office.
Oh yeah,
She's dedicated and good to her job.
But the part that kind of, because they ended the episode on it, they're sending the crazy guy back into space.
yes.
The guy that went nuts on the moon. Don't give me any spoilers because that just seems like a disaster waiting to happen.
You're talking about Gordo.
Yeah,
You'll
Gordo.
You'll understand why Ed got sent. Okay, just watch it.
Just watch it, see what happens.
Yeah, you'll understand. I questioned the same thing with like, what the hell is she thinking? And I watched episode 4, 5, like, I get it.
Oh, and Elihu, you had to appreciate when they incorporated an actual solar event from real life into it, right?
Yes.
Although they did make it like a little bit more powerful than it was in real life.
I know.
I can't understand how, what's his name, the Soviet scientist surviving somehow caused a solar event to be more powerful than it was in real life. But still, it was a good episode.
I think, man, first 3 seasons, Molly was always my favorite. Molly is just a force. I love Molly.
Remind me which one's Molly, because I think I know who it is, but
Molly
She was
Cobb,
one of the Geminis. She was one of the original Geminis. She's one of the Nixon girls.
the strong-headed woman, the blonde, short hair. Yeah. The one that's
The one,
like,
the one who smokes weed.
yeah, her, the cool one, the cool chick.
Yeah, the cool one.
been smokes weed. Yeah.
Molly Cobb.
I love Molly Cobb. I love her. Man, she's just awesome.
Now, the other thing I did watch this week was, and tell me if anyone actually watched it, because I actually enjoyed it. I was shocked that I enjoyed it. The Twisted Metal Season 1.
I don't even know what that is.
Based on the video game?
I don't know the video game. Sorry.
Okay, do you have Peacock?
Wait, is that Anthony Mack show?
Yes, Anthony Mack show.
Yes, I loved it. Loved it.
Okay, it does not follow the games nearly as closely as it should, but for some reason it is. I am thoroughly enjoying it, especially Sweet Tooth.
Oh, dude.
They completely revamped Sweet Tooth into something that is barely recognizable from the show or from the games, but he's still awesome, and I love him.
Yeah, I saw the posters for the new Fallout TV show on Prime, and they, and it's some still shots. But so I'm looking forward to seeing that. I know apparently the main Vault Dweller character is a woman, so that's interesting. But there's a couple other male characters that seem to be okay. One's a ghoul, and but being a fan of
Salute.
Yeah, even though Bethesda's sort of batting zeros lately, I'm still a fan of some of their IPs, and so I'm hoping that the Fallout.
I'll be honest with you, I've been avoiding everything related to the Fallout show, only because I'm a huge Fallout fan, and I want to experience it without any biases whatsoever until it comes out.
Yeah, we should be getting a trailer here very soon. I'm hoping that it's.
I thought they already dropped the trailer.
They did.
Oh, they did. Okay. Well,
yeah,
I guess I was right then.
Week.
Last week. Okay. So yeah, we'll I haven't seen that one, but I'm hoping that it's more like The Boys in terms of quality than the Lord of the Rings show that they tried to do.
Darren, hang on. Darren, I'm gonna make a suggestion. Take 2 minutes and 12 seconds to watch a trailer.
Yeah, I didn't know it was out. I guess the videos I was watching were a couple weeks old because they were talking about the trailer coming out soon, but I thought it hadn't come out yet.
I'm going to specifically avoid the trailer. Sorry, Elihu.
Hey, Darren, I thought it was funny you said that about The Boys. I was like, I've been watching this show, and when I see people say this is so graphic, I'm like, dude, this is PG compared to the comic.
Yeah. I think the show is actually better than the comic. I'll be honest.
I would agree. I absolutely would
yeah.
agree with that.
The
Yeah,
comic
Darren,
is nonstop
I-
disgusting.
No, I mean, I really.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, Vile, you're not coming in very well. It sounds like somebody's putting a hand over your microphone every once in a while. You're on and off. So I don't know what you can do about that, but.
Well, what I liked about The Boys so far is it's taken it, it dwelled into the lore of the original comic book, but
Yeah.
I would agree. I think it is better.
Yeah, I
Sorry, I muted myself because there's an airplane going overhead. But I'll be.
The plane, boss. The plane.
Because
the characters are more interesting. I mean, the characters are way more interesting, and I want to see, like, I don't give two shits about the comics characters because they're all blatant two-dimensional things. But the show, I mean, Anthony Stark is like the #1 villain on television right now, thanks to Homelander. He's.
Right. I'll be right back.
To the point where Yep, not a problem. It's gotten to the point where I kind of want to see him do, like, somebody I can root for, But
well, I'm kind of curious to how this is going to go because I can't see this show the way they're going. I can't see it ending like the comic books.
Yeah, I mean, well, we know that Butcher is dying now. His use of V24 has made him. I mean, unless he gets healed somehow, which there are characters who could probably do that. But the big one to me is Black Noir is much more interesting in the show than he was in the comic. And I'm not going to spoil the show because I don't know what happens, but I can tell you how things went in the comic. In the comic, Black Noir, first of all, wasn't a black man. He was a white man. We know this because when Starlight first joins the Seven, instead of just the Deep trying to get her to suck his cock, all the male members of the Seven gang up on her and force her to suck him off. And we see that he's got a white dick. So we know he's a white guy. Well, then towards the end there, where basically Homelander attacks the White House and tries to install himself as president or ruler or whatever, Black Noir comes up behind him and punches through his chest and then pulls his mask off and reveals that he's a clone of Homelander who was activated in case the first Homelander went nuts, right? Or went crazy in an unacceptable way. And so they've really seemingly have deviated from that quite a bit with the Black Noir in the show. And I'm curious. Yeah.
No, I actually, when I saw what they did with Black Noir, I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, good. I was worried that but they never made it seem like he was going to be the same like he was in the comic.
Right.
And I was just very happy that happened the way it did. Because I was like, okay, good. We're not going to do the clone thing. Thank God. Because that was kind of like, I swear to God, felt like a cheat.
They still might. Do that. Now, one of the things that they established last season was that Homelander knows that Noir is scarred underneath his mask because he can see through his mask, right? So they've established that, which means that if they have to fool Homelander now, what they're going to have to do is give him an outfit that has zinc in it or whatever that blocks his version of X-ray vision, and then they could still do it. They could still do that, the cloning business, but which would be a fitting end for Homelander, I think, because they've established that basically he's the most powerful guy, and really the only one who could kill him is probably another Homelander, and so that's where we're at. I mean, I can see them doing that.
Really, that would be interesting. Kind of well, that would be a better arc, I think, that way.
Yeah. But I also like Soldier Boy. Their version of Soldier Boy, even though he's in his own way just as bad, I still find him entertaining in a way that in a different way than Homelander. And that last season when enhanced Butcher and Homelander, fought him and gave him essentially a not a black eye, but something like it, a bruised cheek. That was some great shit.
It was a swollen jaw.
Yeah. He had to wear concealer and stuff, and yeah.
Dandelion's backstage, bud.
She has
Yeah, I enjoy-
returned.
I have
She
returned.
has returned.
Yes, I had noisy breakfast to eat, so with forks and knives on plates and such.
I was actually surprised, Darren, how while faithful to the book, I think the comic they've been on some general, but the deviations, I'm with you. I think they have been much better.
Yeah. I mean, A-Train is much more interesting in the comic than he is in the show than he is in the comic. In the comic,
Absolutely.
he's a white guy who just it just happens to be the guy who killed Huey's first girlfriend, whereas he's got a lot more. The show version has a lot more depth to him and is more interesting. I mean, the way they kind of give him the same pressures as a professional athlete, where if he doesn't he's got to take the V in order to beat this other super speed guy in a race. Otherwise, he's not the fastest man in the world anymore, and he'll be out of the 7. They'll send him to someplace like some shithole like Indiana or something. So
I see what you did there.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, look how they punished the Deep, right? They sent him to Akron, Ohio, and he had to live in this like it was actually not a bad hotel room that was designed for longer stay, but compared to how he was living before in the tower, it was not great. So
yeah, it's been very interesting how they've done that. And I don't know the actor's name who was in one of the prior seasons. The one I can't pronounce his name. He was in The Mandalorian. He's been on the black guy who played in
Esposito.
Esposito, thank you.
Yeah, that's his last name is Esposito.
Yeah, just the way he talks to Homelander, he's just like, you aren't really that important. You aren't really that important.
Right.
I mean,
and I was sad to see him go too, because they kind of wrote him off the show.
Yeah.
And
so Mike, other than getting a cool sweater, how was that party? Was it a good party? Was it one of those?
They had these tamales things that were something I've never tried before. Instead of just having meat in there was potatoes and carrots. It was like a beef stew and a tamale. It was great.
Dude, your mic is breaking up so bad. All I heard was there was Molly there.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
I heard it clearly. I think it's you, Elihu.
You got to fix your shit, because
I heard everything Mike said just then. So
yeah.
So it wasn't my issue.
I don't think it was your issue. I heard what you said. It sounded like a Spanish samosa, or like a Mexican samosa.
Part of the problem is that Elihu keeps trying to talk over people, and that's cutting people out. So
Well, because we don't have our thingies on, we can't put our hands up.
Right. I understand.
I mean, my hands are always up, so
I like picking
always
on
get
Elihu,
to talk
so
because my otter's got his hands up, and he's offering alcohol, or she.
Oh yeah. I like picking on Elihu, so that's what.
Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
I said, which I appreciate. I like my alcohol.
I just really like the logo from the local liquor store, so I appropriated it.
Beef.
Yep. I told them. They don't seem to mind. So if you're ever in the area where you can shop at an Angry Otter liquor store, I highly recommend the Angry Otter liquor store.
Black Label.
Hashtag not sponsored, but appreciated.
we're still going to give you shit about the Red Label.
Yeah, Black Label.
Oh, you are so wrong. You are so
Don't drink
wrong.
that stuff at all. Get some proper scotch.
It's smoother. Come on.
I don't think I've ever had scotch.
It was cheap Johnny Walker for considering that price in the States is be more like 3 times that price. So I was like, I wanted that.
I love Scotch. I just love, you can tell like everything. Like, I mean, I know you can with wine and stuff too, but I can't with wine. With Scotch, you can tell like what they malted the grains with, what kind of like, what they aged it in, everything. Everything is like so much there in the flavor profile, like if they had to burn seaweed to malt the grains, then that saltiness comes through. Or if they use peat, then it's got that peatiness that comes through.
Which is why I was trying to explain to Mrs. Vile how, yes, this is a blended Scotch, but she was just like, I have no idea what that even means.
Right. Yeah. No, I like my single malts.
So,
I mean, and there's
Mike,
certainly
I got a
lovely whiskeys from other places too.
PC. How you been, buddy? Yeah,
Positive?
this is my son.
Positive?
This is my personal trainer.
Nice.
I love that camera trick, turn the camera sideways.
Definitely needs to like work on his like he's going to end up with a sore back. He's got to get his hips over his shoulders a bit better. I know it's partly because he's leaning against the wall, but
well, he's not quite there yet. He wants to do what a guy he saw do, which is do a handstand, handstand push up and then clap his hands and go back to the handstand.
Nice.
Or
yeah,
Bruce Lee, one finger push
needs
up.
to work on getting his hips over his shoulders a little more. Then you don't have to balance as much.
I'm going to answer that question, Eli. He cannot do the one-handed, one finger, one thumb thing like Bruce Lee. But, dude, he can do it with both hands, and he can do one-handed push-ups.
Oh, okay.
Nice. I can
He's got finger push-ups. He's got wide push-ups. He's got diamond push-ups. Dude, he's got the push-ups down.
I can probably do one regular push-up. Mostly I do knee push-ups.
Yeah. I don't think I've done a proper push-up in about 20 years.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm in such bad shape you couldn't donate my body to science fiction.
Let me tell you something. Last time I did push-ups, my last PT test before I retired.
I think I did some push-ups last week, but they were like knee push-ups.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. When I played football in high school, I could probably do 20 or 30, depending on, how much I'd already exercised. But now, yeah, no.
I don't remember the last time I actually did a push-up.
Yeah, my last PT test was about 4 months before I got out. 50 push-ups in 2 minutes, 50 sit-ups in 2 minutes, and a mile and a half in like 20 minutes because I was a little bit older. I was in the next age bracket, so normally
nice.
Normally it would have been like 15 minutes, but I get the 20 because I was 20.
What about you, NB? You've been working out. You do some push-ups?
Not yet right now. I did go to the gym this morning.
Doing push-ups or something?
No, I haven't been doing push-ups lately. I've been at the gym now the last 2 weeks after the almost 4 months of the Bowflex. But, man, you probably didn't hear this. I've been having trouble sleeping because of the dry weather, so I had to buy some humidifiers. So that's been breaking everything up in me. So I took 2 days off, and I had to go today because I was like, I can't take a third day off. But it was a rough day, but my son wanted to go because he took 2 days off too. And I was actually glad my son went because I was like, if he probably had to come, I'd have probably only done a quarter mile, a little bit of weight, and then walked off. So then I did a mile and did, a decent workout.
Good. Well, and sometimes even if you don't get a lot done, it's just stay in the habit. Right.
Well, I like the fact that when I started out 2 weeks ago, I was doing so we have a track in our gym, and it takes 20 laps to get a mile. So what I've started doing is I'll get a half a mile in. Then I'll do one of my weights, do a full 3 sets, and then I'll go either walk a lap or 2, depending on the day, and try to get at least a full mile. I started out, I went half a mile, 3/4. I actually did a 1.5 mile walk the other day on Friday.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was pretty happy with that.
I usually do, what is it, 4 miles a day at least? That's like, I try to aim for 4 as my minimum. It was terrible because it was raining like nobody's business a couple of times this week. And so I had to pace back and forth in my apartment. And it takes like 30, like if I go from the door in the kitchen, which is the door to the laundry room and outside, and I go all the way around through my living room and then to the other side of the laundry room, kind of where the spare room is, and then back. If I do that 30 times, it's a kilometer, which is 0.6 of a mile.
Damn.
So
I enjoyed it. Well, I
I've done
enjoyed
like a lot of those before when it's been bad weather. I just like pace for a while and like listen to a podcast or something.
Well, I bought some earbuds, and man, I tell you what, love their Bluetooth connection because I can just leave my phone over with my stuff and walk around the entire gym, and I get no disconnection whatsoever.
I need the phone with me to track my steps.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't bother with that track and step crap. No point for me.
Well, I do just because I'm,
You're naturally skinny.
I take a clipboard. I have a clipboard with me, and when I'm going through and I'm doing my laps, I'll as I'm walking through and finishing, I'll just put a tick mark on there.
Why don't you get yourself a row counter, like a knitter's row counter, and then you just push the button and it adds 1 each time you go by? That's what I do. If I'm trying to just track how many times.
Oh, I just be right back.
Kind of used to my old PT days.
Okay.
Just how we used to do. I used to be a PTL, so I used to have to. We have to do tick marks for people as they were finishing their laps. So just habit mainly.
Gotcha.
PC, you having a blessed Sunday, buddy?
Yeah, positive. Hello.
Not really.
What have you been up to? Positive?
Absolutely.
Can't hear you if you're talking, boss.
He's pretty quiet.
Absolutely nothing. Can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Have you had good weather? Cold.
It's been
Hello, Yvette, again.
It's been yo-yo, what I call yo-yo weather. Be like 80 degrees one day and 40 the next. And
that's the worst.
I love weather like that. That's desert winter weather. I love it. Oh, hey, Yvette.
Hello. Nice.
But yeah.
Hello across the pond.
That's how it is here in the winter. I mean, Florida.
Yeah, Florida, America. Right.
That would be terrible.
I mean, yeah, it gets to the 80s during the day and then it goes down to the 40s at night. So yeah.
One interesting thing I noticed about living in California when I lived in NorCal was like the sun would come up and it'd be so hot, but when that sun dipped down, man, it's like the temperature would just drop like crazy.
Yeah, there's a saying here. How do you tell the locals from the tourists? Well, everybody as local has a backpack. Why? That's where we keep our jackets.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's not lying. He's not
Definitely,
lying.
You got to wear layers here too, for sure.
Yeah, you can go from downtown to the Mission and be basically in shorts in the Mission, but be winter wear when you get down to Embarcadero.
All of those words don't have meaning to me.
Oh, it's a 2 mile difference. It's a 2 mile. It's a 3 kilometer difference, Dandelion.
Ah, gotcha.
Is it cooler by the by the ocean. Is that what
Yes.
you're saying?
Yes.
From the ocean itself.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
lot. Yeah, Sunset District is the ocean area, and it's well right now downtown it is 52, but in the Sunset it is 48.
Okay. Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, it stays cooler down there.
I mean, I know when I lived in El Cajon, or not El Cajon, Lemon Grove, which is right by El Cajon. When I used to be there in San Diego Naval Base, that yeah, it was always basically the same temperature. Never really got. I would say because I guess there it's not like here in Florida where you have humidity mixed in. On the West Coast, it seems like you have no humidity, basically.
It's not as humid, no.
Yeah.
No.
The one thing I've noticed though for me is it's actually gets a little warmer close to the water in the winter, and it's cooler close to the water in the summer. Like if I go down to White Rock, which is like the closest, ocean, like, I don't know, 20-minute drive or something. It's always warmer there. Like people with palm trees, they grow nicer there than they do out here. Where
Yeah,
I-
if it rains here in the summer, it's a cold rain. But if it rains in the summer, in New Orleans,
If
it's
it
a
rains
warm
in
rain.
California during the summer, that's an outlier.
I said if, okay.
Yeah,
Not
I
when,
remember.
that's
I
if.
remember living in NorCal. I remember saying it. We have 2 seasons: summer and rain.
Yeah, that's like here. It never rains at all, hardly in the summer. It gets pretty dry, actually.
When I
Hi,
was in
Cody
the
guy. Whoever
Hello,
you are.
Cody guy.
Hi, Cody guy.
when I was in the when I joined the Marine Corps and I went to boot camp at MCRD
lag.
San Diego,
I thought you said
we had our
log for
first,
some reason.
we had our first uniform inspection, and here was the problem. It was in the morning, and we're all standing there in formation, and it's like we're in the shade in December in California, and we are just begging. We are begging for that sun to hurry up and rise sooner.
Like, I can't take that 3 steps
I'm
forward.
literally
I have to
looking-
stay here.
I remember generally looking down at the shadows, just like, come on, just a little closer, a little closer. Dude, my
Yeah,
hands
it's 2 feet away.
my hands were numb.
Hey, Val Mike, do you go to Coronado Island occasionally?
During the summer, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I remember going to Coronado Island when I lived in San Diego.
I take the kids to Silver Strand because I like that beach,
Oh, okay.
and usually we'll go through Coronado to get there.
I haven't been to
Okay.
Coronado Beach in 20 years, man.
I don't know. Is the base even still there in Coronado, or did they close it?
Coronado?
Yeah, did they close the base there, or is it still there?
I don't know.
There, it's like half the island.
It's half there, so just probably the exchange and the
Yeah.
commissary, basically, and that's about it.
I don't know. I'm getting lag again all of a sudden.
It's so funny. My glasses need cleaning, and I read log, not lag. I'm like, oh, don't tell us about that. We don't want to know about that.
Hey,
Oh, that's okay.
film studios there in Vancouver pretty close to where you're at, or no?
Yes, there's some filming locations all over. In fact, here in Langley, there's a big Netflix soundstage like that they've built or are in the process of building. And there's an outdoor film set that they built right next to where I go walking at lunchtime. And it's actually kind of cool because right now they've got it all kitted out for Christmas because there's no filming going on right now. They've got it all lit up and decorated, and you can buy an admission ticket and go in and look around at all the sets. So they've got like a brownstone street in there and a city hall and a cobblestone bridge and all kinds of stuff. Oh, here, I'll put the link in the private chat. And if anybody is curious, let me see, what is it now?
The nice thing here in Indy, we have
They-
oh, sorry, Nanny.
Correct. That's. Let me put a. Oh, there it is. Let me just double check that it's the correct one. Nope, I made put the wrong thing up. Just a second. Let me find the actual address. I've got it here on my phone somewhere because I was checking it out the other day. Well, I know if you go to
One of the nice things we've gotten to do is go to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway during Christmas time, and they have a light show. So decorations and everything. So you literally are driving on the road course version, and it's just kind of a nice tour. And I thought, oh man, this is so cool.
Anyway, you can see some of it there, but there's actually the site for the actual film set that's more interesting. Let me see if I can't find that website. No, I can't remember what it was.
What does GST mean?
That is the goods and services tax. It's our federal sales tax.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So basically that plus tax.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Hang on. I've actually found the real website to the actual film set, which is more interesting.
Well, I got to give you credit. At least you guys don't do like we do in America, where we say $21.99 plus tax.
Sometimes they do. Mostly for events like that, they keep it pretty. Here's the actual film studio. Has more photos and stuff of it not looking. But it's kind of cool. You can see the little parking lot where I park my car. Ooh, I should check and see if my car is parked there. Sometimes because I walk there, there's like a bunch of ponds and like a bunch of like a wetland there, and there's a frisbee golf course like on the other side of the parking lot where there's usually lots of people throwing frisbees, which I'm absolutely abysmal at. So I've never gone to the course to play frisbee golf.
I've never played golf except for.
Well, it's not golf; it's frisbee golf. Like you hurl a frisbee and try and get it in this like
metal net.
Yeah, I know.
metal net.
Yeah, that was the only time I played that was when I was at rehab in 2016.
Mm.
No, I found it a lot of fun. Lost.
I'm sure it would be, but it wouldn't be much fun for me because I really, really suck at throwing a frisbee.
Oh, I lost. I was dead last.
I would just be frustrated and give up. It would be really sad.
Look, I'm just going to say this. I throw like a girl.
Yeah, me too.
I sucked at dodgeball back in the day. I was one of the worst. I couldn't throw
Hey,
a ball.
if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball, okay?
Hey, I don't know, man. Some of those motherfuckers we had back in high school, boy, they got like laser sighting and they got cannon arms.
Twitter.
You know, I never played dodgeball in high school. It was always a cool thing.
Oh, we played dodgeball. Oh, dodgeball was one of our funnest things.
Ugh, I hated dodgeball. Again, I can't throw. Well, I can throw, but I can't throw hard enough that people don't just catch the ball.
Yeah, that was always my problem. I couldn't do that. And then also, I can't catch worth a shit.
Yeah.
But I did learn how to dodge.
Yeah, I was pretty dodgy.
So I basically was just trying to be the last one standing.
Yeah.
Because every time I tried to catch a ball, yeah, never worked.
Yeah.
Was never good at
So basically, you probably just got hit on purpose. Basically, is what you're saying.
That was me. I'm like, throw the ball.
Oh, yeah.
I want to sit down.
You know, it never occurred to me to do that. I always did try to like not get hit,
No, I'm always with hands open. Like, who wants to hit me? Boom. Okay, I can sit down now. Cool. I didn't care about winning. I
Let's just
hated
put
that
it this
game.
way: when it came to shit like that, I was generally one of the. I was either the last guy picked or the second to last guy. Nobody
same
wanted me
here.
on their team.
Yeah, same. Oh, unless we were running, because I was fast. Then I was suddenly on the team.
I remember, always getting picked first for basketball because people are like, "Oh, he's tall. He must be really good." No.
I remember trying to play basketball back in the day, and I'd be right up on the fucking rim trying to throw the ball in. People are like, "Do you not know how to throw a ball?" I'm like, "Apparently not."
Yeah, I tend to just stand underneath the opposing net just to get the rebounds and toss it to someone who can actually shoot.
Strangely enough, the one sport I was decent at, I think at the time, was actually soccer.
Sucker.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, other than football, I wasn't really good at anything. I mean, I was lettered on the wrestling team, but that was because there's only 2 people in the weight class at the school, so I automatically lettered.
Well, that's interesting because in my high school, wrestling was our most popular thing. Our basketball team, volleyball team, football team. No, wrestling was the big deal. We had like championship wrestlers. In fact, one of the guys I went to high school with, I went back like some years later, and one of the guys who was our wrestling champion was now a coach for the wrestling team in my high school. And I was like, holy shit. So I saw him there. I was like, holy shit, you're coach of wrestling? He goes, I want to keep winning.
Nice.
No, he
No.
was dude. Let me tell you something. You think the captain of the football team was something they do in movies? No, the wrestling captain. Oh, dude, all the girls wanted him. All the guys wanted to be him.
No, even though I'm in SoCal, everyone loved the football team. Occasionally, some of the other teams when they were winning, but even when we were losing, it was the football team that was the most popular.
Yeah, it's crazy how that worked out. Football really didn't. Well, you got to remember, I grew up in just outside of St. Louis. And what is St. Louis mainly known for? Baseball. So that's one of the reasons I'm not a football fan. I didn't grow up really with it.
Yeah, you grew up on men.
Well, I grew up on men, thankfully not football men, because apparently they suck.
Well, yeah. Well, so you grew up on men that sucked? Huh.
Yeah, I never understood why people are like dissing that.
Well, did any of you guys actually
Whole
play
concept of
baseball?
suck being bad.
I couldn't play.
Well,
sports.
he edited out what I said, because I said I grew up on people like John Wayne and Clint Eastwood. I said I grew up on men. So there's a little context there that Mike likes to leave out.
All right. I'm heading out in a few minutes, so I am going to go and get ready to depart.
You're heading out?
Yes, I'm heading out.
Oot.
Oot. Okay.
Oot.
Yes, but not. Well, actually, no. I am going to wear boots now that I think about it. But actually, boots, not oot in a boot.
Oh, you're going.
Yeah,
Oot
she's
in
got
a boot.
to go Christmas shopping and then put all the stuff in her car boot.
So she's going to oot in a boot with a pair of boots and put stuff in a boot.
As opposed to a truck.
Bonnie Raitt, let's give him something to talk about.
Oh my goodness.
All right. I think I've been slagged off enough here for one day.
Dandelion, you could actually go as Bonnie Raitt for Halloween. Just got to put a little white thing in your hair.
Let us know if you find any boot.
I will.
Booty.
Talk you all. Talk to you later.
Later.
All right. Okay, so the other day I was at the grocery store and I was feeling a little congested. I remembered my mom always, when I was a kid, used to put Vicks Vapor Rub on me, right? So I bought some. I haven't smelled this stuff since childhood. That's what it reminds me of, is childhood being sick. Then I start looking online. Apparently, this thing does nothing for you. It's like, it's not a decongestant. It's not. It has a little bit of camphor in it, but it really, they say that most often it's used for like to soothe aching muscles, like a pain ointment. I'm like, really? What the fuck? Then why did I have to put it on my chest when I was sick? Apparently, the menthol just makes you think it's opening your passageways when it's really not. Very strange to me.
I don't know. I never
They
used
lied
it.
to me. They lied to me.
Oh, you're thinking that the old wives' tales might have been true about certain things? I'm shocked.
Well, you figure if your mom did it, made you put on Vicks Vapor Rub, it must be something you're supposed to do. But then you find out that it's kind of almost like a placebo when you're congested. It just that minty menthol stuff, those vapors, they don't actually open your passageways. They just make you feel the exposed ones. So it makes you feel better. It doesn't actually decongest you.
I don't know. As I said, I never did that as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, well, whatever. German kids, they do this here.
But I have had friends who were like, their mom used Vicks Vapor Rub for every ailment, no matter what it was.
Yeah,
Got
apparently
it.
it's something in the South. Yeah.
Break your arm, Vicks Vapor Rub.
Yeah. Well, apparently there's this other stuff called Tiger Balm that's supposed to be even better because it has like
Yes.
because
Tiger Balm is
Vicks
awesome.
Vicks Vapor Rub has only 4% of it is actually the active ingredient, but with Tiger Balm it's like 60%.
I can actually confirm that, Darren, because back in '98, when I joined the Marine Corps, that was actually something that our DIs told us about Tiger Balm.
Hold on. Did you say 6% or 60%?
60%.
Yeah.
Crap, that is a big difference. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
This stuff was like, before I started getting the THC stuff, I can now get at the dispensary. That shit was the best you could get.
Tiger Balm makes my skin burn. I can't use it.
Yeah, it's going to.
Yeah.
But it's going to
Now I
feel
know
good
it's good for your
afterwards.
birthday. Yeah. Man, okay, guys, I tried to eat liver for the first time since I was probably about 10 years old the other night, and I actually managed to get about 2.5, maybe 3 ounces down before I couldn't have any more. But
I one of the
I love liver.
people who likes liver.
I'm talking about beef liver. My problem with beef, this is what it does. It first of all, it sucks all the moisture out of your mouth, and it leaves for me, it leaves this metallic taste in my mouth that makes me want to gag. And it's very high in all kinds of stuff. It's almost a superfood, and so that's why I wanted to eat some. But I mean, liver is dirt cheap. You can get like a lot of liver for $5 at the grocery store, but because no one wants it. But I'm thinking I'm going to use my KitchenAid. I got a KitchenAid mixer for Christmas this year. You can get a meat grinder attachment for it. So I'm going to go ahead and grind like a couple ounces of liver in with ground beef and stir it up so that you make like a burger that has some liver in it, but not enough liver to really hurt the taste. So
yeah,
that actually sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah, that's what I think I'm going to do. It's like because I can't sit down and eat. I can't sit down and eat like a New York strip style steak's worth of liver because that's a lot. And,
I can.
It's like I don't care. And again, it's weird. I think my stomach says stop because this is like a super nutrient dense food, and it I like maybe 6 bites and I'm done. It's like so yeah. But I wondered if anybody else here eats that shit.
Now I haven't had liver in. Sorry, Mike.
I was just gonna say I've had liver. It's just not my favorite, but I've had beef liver. I've had chicken liver. I've had, deer liver. It's still almost none of them are that good as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Apparently, the most nutritious part of the animal is also some of the. I mean, and it's what's funny is our society, right? Some people will tell you that the reason why you don't like liver in your kid is because your palate hasn't developed yet. You still like, you like ketchup, you like mustard, you like, stuff like that, but you don't. But liver, no. And then you have to develop your palate, like do it slowly. Like I can eat liverwurst. That's fine. That's a liver product, but actual just straight up beef liver. I OD'd this thing with like seasoning. I put coconut flour on it so it would have a bit of a crust on it, and I have this bone sucking sauce steak seasoning. I just friggin' covered it in that shit, and I was able to get 3 ounces in, and then I was done. But
yeah, you ruined the flavor. That's why.
I'm with Elihu on that one.
No, I'm not.
The flavor of liver is the problem, but the thing is that apparently you're supposed to eventually. I mean, if you were hungry enough, you could eat it, and you'd probably get it down and no problems. Yeah.
No, I get it. It's definitely not for everyone. I just don't mind it. I've never really had a problem with eating beef liver. Actually, now that you mention it, shit, I can't even think of the last time I had any.
I had some last month.
Was it good?
Oh yeah, I lightly floured it, put some little onions in it, grilled onions. Delicious.
I came across something that was interesting once. I bought a steak seasoning, and for reasons I don't remember, one day I was making fries, and I was like, I'm gonna cook these fries with this seasoning. And pretty much after that seasoning had to be on the fries for everybody in my house. It's just some little steak seasoning, but everybody loved it on their steak fries.
Yeah, same thing. I used to cube potatoes, and I'd cook them with steak seasoning with a little bit of olive oil, and they always came out awesome.
Oh damn! I'm gonna have to think about doing the olive oil thing. Was it a light coat?
Very light coat. You just want enough so they kind of on the outsides.
Ooh, I'll have to. Ooh, that might actually help it stick better too. I'm gonna have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, don't do the butter. Use olive oil. Butter tends to make things burn.
No. I'm not putting butter on my fries. What are you, nuts?
Oh, my dad used to use butter instead of olive oil.
Yeah, it's a viable option, but olive oil is probably going to give you a little more familiar texture.
Do you guys have an olive oil preference you like? You guys go with anything, or are you guys more a little picky with yours? Me,
extra virgin.
Extra virgin, yep.
Yeah, extra virgin.
I'll be honest with you, I'm more of a whatever person. I'll use whatever's on hand, but if you got EVOO, you use the EVOO.
Agreed.
But if all you have is, generic olive oil in a bottle that has very little labeling on it, then you use that too.
No, that's when you go to the store and get the good stuff.
No, I'm more of a use on what's on hand guy.
Oh.
I like flavor.
I think the flavor differences between extra virgin, virgin, and regular is very subtle to the point where I don't taste it. And I don't care about you guys. I want to make it good for me.
Dad, we don't have any pizza sauce for the pizza. What should I put on it? We got any peanut butter? Yeah, put it on. No.
Okay, Donatello.
I was going to say, chocolate and peanut butter pizza is actually pretty good.
Yeah, if you want a dessert rather. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I used to get for my birthdays a lot of times, I'd get a cookie pizza. I love those things for a long time because I don't really like cake. In fact, here's the thing. I don't really drink soda or eat sweets or candy very much. I never really have. I don't actually prefer them.
I tend not to as well, but since we're talking about sweets, one of the other things Mrs. Vile got me for the stream, because I haven't been doing the Kinder Eggs because work has been getting in the way with making videos. She got me these
Oh, nice.
Hershey Kisses Transformer things. So I'm gonna go ahead and you guys continue talking. I'm gonna open up some Kisses and a Transformer toy.
I want to see the egg.
There's no egg. It's just this. I don't know what's inside yet. I've never opened one of these before. I saw them at my stores, but they were like $5. So I'm like, I'm not gonna pay for them. She saw them down here for $2 for $1.
The sad part is you really need to have a real Kinder Egg in Germany. Unfortunately, you can't order them here because the FDA has banned them.
I know. Apparently, that's it. It just has the toy sitting on top of some Hershey's Kisses.
Yeah, that's not the same thing. That's why I can't stand those things. The whole point was to have the egg, eat the chocolate around it, and then open up the Easter egg that was in there. To see
Well, that's what they have here in Mexico.
Huh?
That's why I do the videos from the ones in Mexico.
Well, yeah, it's like I said, because you can't get them. Because when we had a friend of ours going to Germany once, and I had put on their Kinder Eggs, and she's like, I can't get those because they're illegal in America.
That's the joke of my
next
NB is I'm opening them while I'm in line to cross the border because I have to open them before I cross the border, or else I go to jail. That's the joke of those videos.
I think the next Smokey and the Bandit movie's got to be about us transporting a shipment of Kinder Eggs to.
You think we can get Burt Reynolds
down West Coast
Exactly.
trucking.
Can we get Burt Reynolds back?
Which video was it where Cheech and Chong are driving the van made of weed across the border?
Up in smoke.
Up in smoke.
Elihu who jumped on that one. I wonder why.
Gee, I don't know.
They're his idols.
Yeah,
Cheech
but
and Chong.
I thought the irony was the fact that they didn't realize they had weed back there. Dude, man, that cop is high. Yeah, man, I wonder if he's got any weed for us.
That's the whole point.
I know.
Oh, here. I'll give you... No, Sada. Here.
There's no way that movie could be made now.
There's a lot of movies that can't be made now. Blazing Saddles. You couldn't make Blazing Saddles 2 months after it came out.
Which is under. I was watching it.
Have Cheech and Chong bring a van made of Kinder Eggs across the border.
There you go. Yeah, THC Kinder Eggs. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. What do you think? What do you think, Elihu? Kinder Eggs, edibles. Maybe have a dime bag in there.
It's chocolate.
Well, it's illegal now. So at least most of in California it is. So the next step is to bring something that's actually illegal, and Kinder Eggs would be perfect.
Ugh.
You mean marijuana-filled Kinder Eggs?
But they don't make those.
They should. Come on, man. Go talk to the local cartel. Here in Mexico, talk to the local cartel.
Yeah.
I'm
pay your
dues. Go do that right now.
Find a water truck. Tell them where it is. That'll start off with good graces.
Yeah, I'm sure I wouldn't get killed.
No, if you let them know where a water truck is, that starts with good graces.
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys don't know the story. My brother pissed off the M13.
MS-13?
He pissed off MS-13.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
not good.
So you need to move to the North Pole.
Yeah.
And learn how to
And you're
swim.
still in California.
And train a polar bear as an attack dog.
Well, what he basically did, and I found this out after the fact, was he signed. Basically, he joined up with them for protection while he was in prison. And then decided when he got transferred to not do anything they asked them to. They had asked him to do when he transferred, so he could get placed on one of the work programs, so he could make some money in prison. So if you don't do what they tell you, and they said they were protecting you, you get fucked over.
Can I say this? Your brother's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But yeah, last time I saw him, he was trying. He had tattooed over his MS-13 tattoo. So yeah, that was fun.
Well, unfortunately, now you're guilt by association.
Oops. Well, he's in Mexico, so easier to get to.
How did your brother get in the MS-13?
Sorry, what?
I'm trying to figure out how your brother got in the MS-13. He just did it for protection?
Well, he basically, when he first got in, he got into a fight with a black guy. So the Aryan Brotherhood thought, oh, he must be one of us. But when they found out he wasn't a racist, the Aryan Brotherhood was going to try to kill him. So he went to the only group he could have, because he was a meth dealer, and that was MS-13.
You need a new lighter. I heard that.
Not a huge gathering of criminals in San Diego, or gangs in San Diego prisons. There's like 4.
Well, yeah. Because, you guys are that nice melting pot of, enlightened individuals in California.
I'm pretty sure that there probably would have been the whatever they were called, Aryan Brotherhood or whatever they called them, the probably weren't the only racist ones there too.
Oh, no, yeah, all the gangs are racist. That's what's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Well, I mean, we're talking about more than just being racially exclusive, right? We're talking about like active seeking out. Yeah.
Well, you know that there are even like black people that are in the Aryan Brotherhood in prison because they're like supporting their causes, or they were dealing drugs for them. So they're like, okay,
weird.
We'll still protect you even though you're one of the lesser races. So if someone messes with you, we'll still kill someone over you, but don't think that you're one of us. You're not perfect.
Right, right. That sounds almost like the mafia, where you're a mob associate, but you're never going to be a made man kind of a deal.
Yeah, you're going to be a wise guy, pretty much. Anybody remember seeing? I don't know if you guys saw it. I would imagine maybe you did. American History X.
Oh yeah.
Never.
I would say that probably encapsulates what we were just talking about.
Never seen it, dude.
That's the worst horror movie ever.
One of the funniest stories I have regarding the Hells Angels. Now, you guys know the Hells Angels are a primarily white group of drug dealers, essentially.
Right.
Yeah, I used to date members.
They used to be bikers. They used to be bikers, but now they're
used to mostly be bikers. But then they started letting people without bikes join just to build up their numbers. Yeah. But their headquarters in El Cajon is near a pawn shop I used to do business with, and it's on the same block. And on that block, a Muslim guy opened up basically a restaurant. And some of the people in that area of El Cajon got kind of pissed off that there was this Muslim guy now living on their block and selling stuff on their block. So they literally started throwing rocks at his building. And the Hells Angels guys came out of their clubhouse And the people who were outside the Muslim guy's restaurant were like, "Oh, now you're going to get it. You've pissed off these guys." No, the Hell's Angels guys were there to protect the guy, not because they were being paid to, not for anything. It was just they were in their block. That means they're in their territory. You don't fuck with people in their territory, regardless.
They're protecting community. That's why. I mean, that was funny.
Take Sons of Anarchy. What was the whole thing about that? They protected their area.
Yeah.
And the community knew that.
Well, the funniest part for me was apparently the Hell's Angels called the cops to.
Okay.
The only reason they went out there to stand was to make sure that no damage occurred to a building in their territory until the cops showed up. So having, the cops showing up because the Hell's Angels called them to protect Muslim guys, it's not something you think would happen in real life, but it did.
No. Yeah, I wouldn't have.
Hey,
that's their
Hey, man, that's
The
their
crazy-
turf. We protect our turf. When it comes down to it, we protect our turfs. We're always going to protect our turf. We don't necessarily have to like the other person. It doesn't matter. If they're on our turf and you're fucking with them, it's like, no, you don't get to do that.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was.
Well, it's like we say in the military. We can say whatever we want about each other. You can't.
Right. Exactly.
Well, we can. Civilians can still insult the Marines.
Yeah, you damn jarhead.
You have to use certain PC-related stuff.
Yeah, you gotta call them jarheads.
No,
Jarhead's
derogatory.
I'm a jarhead.
A lot of Marines are some of my best customers, so I love fucking with them, and they'll take it because they know that I'll sell them stuff, or I'll buy their stuff.
What I'm saying is we can have those insults and those crazy things. Yeah, I know you're okay. You were a military brat. That's acceptable, and also spouses are acceptable to have those separations because hey. My wife was in the military, but I've known plenty of other spouses as well who, they go through a lot too. And the kids go through a lot. So they get the pass.
They do.
Hey, my daddy was a squid.
Yeah, my dad was a soldier. My dad was a soldier. My uncle was a squid, did 20 years, retired as a helicopter electronic maintenance, sorry. I don't know what that rating was back then for him. He was back in when you could still have a beard in the Navy.
Yeah, that was the dark ages.
My father retired.
The whole reason I grew this out is because I hated shaving.
Yeah. Well, it's like, a lot of people don't realize how recent that stopped. It's like if you see the movie The Final Countdown, it came out in 1981, but it was filmed in 1979, and all the background naval personnel in that movie are authentic. They were the crew of the Nimitz at that time, and a lot of them are sporting beards, and as soon as Reagan took over, that was it. We had to conform to the shaving parameters of the other branches, so.
Yeah, the funniest thing was when I joined, and I was asked about, I was like, why can't we grow beards? They were like, oh, it'll affect the gas mask seal. And then, after 9/11, I'm like, wait a minute, we're letting guys go overseas wear beards all the time to blend in. Where's the gas mask seal issue here?
Yeah, special forces get to do that because they have to blend into the population. Submarine guys, when we're underway, when the boat is underwater, we can wear goatees or Van Dykes. We were allowed to do that. Some of us could grow beards, but as long as we got a good seal on our face mask, we were fine. And some people had real thin, peach fuzzy kind of.
Yeah, that's why an unknown dictator in Germany had his mustache a certain way because he didn't want to shave. He just wanted to be able to wear his gas mask. I know.
Well, remember, he actually did survive a mustard gas attack, didn't he? Or am I thinking of someone else?
Someone else.
I don't buy that at all. That mustache was popular back then outside of the military.
Yeah, he didn't want to shave. That's why he wanted to keep facial hair. That's why he trimmed it like that. It's now called a toothbrush mustache.
No, I think
I
it's just
somehow
now known.
find that hard to believe, considering he shaved everything but that little patch,
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's almost like a soul patch under your nose is what it is.
or like the spider patch. Remember that, where you shave everything?
Oh
but you have
yeah, you're ready to
I
use
actually had one of those
yeah.
for a while. I actually did have a little spider for a while back when I was in high school. Back then, that was
You
like
know,
the
I
only
didn't.
thing on my face that would grow properly is a beard.
You know, I heard the term neck beard, and I remember for years I didn't know what it meant, and I had to until somebody showed me a picture of what they're talking about. Where the guy can't grow very much hair on his face, but his neck can get all hairy. You know.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. My wife's let me for Christmas this year, for winter time, she says I can grow this all out. And for a month, I didn't realize until I looked at myself. I was like, oh shit, I got a neck beard. So I had to shave all down here yesterday. It was like, okay, I can't have that. Don't look right.
You're just reminding me I got to try to shave today.
Yeah, I got to shave. No lip hair.
Oh, whoa. Oh yeah. Yeah. You gotta get a little bit there, buddy. Elias, do you even grow facial hair?
What?
Can you even grow facial hair?
Yes. Yeah, I'll show you. I can go facial hair.
I remember one time because our chief of the boat was a former Marine who went Navy, and he was just in shape. He looked like a Marine in a Navy chief's uniform, and he had a flat top, and I thought that looked so cool. So I went to the barber and I said, can you give me a flat top? He goes, well, your hair really isn't going to be able to sustain it, but I can try. And, okay, go ahead. And then of course he did it, and then a couple weeks later, of course, I had to have another haircut, and I went to a different barber on the base, and there's this good-looking, smooth black guy, and he's like, I sit down in his chair. He goes, "What the fuck is this?" As he says, like, I just want to get a cut. He goes, "It looks like somebody tried to give you a flat top." And I'm like, you got me. It's like, yeah, just make it normal, please. It's like,
I remember back in grade school when flat tops were real popular, and there was a kid in our class who tried to get a flat top, and he ended up having a bald spot in the top of his head because that was the only way it would work. So if he, put his head down, you could see a bald spot.
It's interesting you brought that up, because when I was in the Marines, I started actually doing a flat top back at my field radio operator school, Frock. And I'm pretty sure I kept it for a couple of years. But thankfully, my hair was, at the time, able to handle a flat top.
Yeah, my hair was not anywhere near thick enough.
Well, I'll put it this way. You know those high-end tights the Marines like to have? The only time I had that was in boot camp. Past that, I never went with a high-end tight. I always thought our hair regs were so stupid.
This is the shortest my hair's ever been.
My hair's been shorter than that.
Mohawk.
Yeah, you realize you look like an extra from Mad Max with a hairdo like that, right?
Mad Max, really? Oh, I get who you're talking about now.
Sorry,
Road Warrior, Road Warrior, right?
Yeah.
Well, if he was any whiter and if he shaved the entire thing off, he could easily pass for one of the Chrome Boys or whatever they were called.
Yeah, the Wild Boys.
You know, it's interesting. Out of the 3 Mad Max movies that Mel Gibson was in, I only like Road Warrior. I don't like the other 2. I don't like the first one. I don't like the third one.
You don't like Thunderdome? Wow.
Oh.
Thunderdome was the first one I saw, and I saw it in the theater, and I was very impressed with that. But then I went and saw the other 2. But
Well, what happened to me was I watched them out of order. I actually watched Thunderdome
Yeah.
first, then Mad Max, then
Warrior.
Road Warrior, and I just thought Road Warrior was the superior of all of them.
Nah, first one.
Yeah,
guess
because
we
I
can-
watched Road Warrior first, then I watched Beyond Thunderdome, then I watched the original. And the original always just seemed off for me because it was like just before the actual collapse type stuff, or at least a lot of ways it was, and it doesn't seem to fit with anything else.
Yes,
Right. It's
exactly.
like, yeah. It's like, isn't there in the beginning of Road Warrior a crawl on the opening screen that tells you, okay, this now takes place after nuclear devastation or something? It was
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
and
Australia,
it was just
so it's weird.
Are you guys interested in watching the new Furiosa movie, the prequel?
A lot of people are shitting on it. I don't have a problem. I'll watch anything Anya Taylor-Joy is in, and with that war paint on half of her head like that, her eyes look super huge. So I will go ahead. I'll probably watch it.
I have no issue with seeing it. I mean, I'm not saying I'll see it in the theater. It'll depend on the trailer, but she was badass in that movie, and I liked it.
The trailer looks pretty good. Yeah, the trailer looks pretty good.
And even Chris Hemsworth is playing Immortan Joe, and we get to see when he was younger, and he was actually, how he established the authority, and I guess it's basically the story is how she basically sells her soul to Immortan Joe, and yeah, so.
Well, we'll see.
But
I generally very much enjoyed Mad Max Fury Road. I thought it was just.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was
one of
just
those,
like a throwback to the. I thought it felt like a throwback to the '80s almost.
Yeah, I was one of those guys who didn't mind that basically Mad Max had to share the spotlight with Furiosa in that movie, because it does feel almost like the character is passing the torch, but because Tom Hardy was okay as Max. I mean, obviously you can't get Mel Gibson back. I would have preferred Michael Fassbender myself, but he's getting old too now, I guess. I guess he's getting old too now. So, the guy who played one of the wild boy that had the tumors on his neck.
The one
he
who
was
died
good too.
years ago.
Wasn't he? No, he didn't die. He didn't die. What are you talking about? He was in The Menu with Anya Taylor-Joy. Played her date. He was the guy. Yeah, that's the same guy. He played Beast in the younger.
Oh, I thought you
younger
were
version
talking
of
about
Beast.
Anson Mount.
Anson
Mount.
Anson Mount's still alive too. He plays Pike on Strange New Worlds.
No,
You're thinking Chekhov.
Who?
Yeah, and Anton Pavlov.
Okay, sorry guys. Look, I don't know my actors that well anymore. Okay, we ain't exactly hit with a lot of superstars anymore these days.
I'm getting old. Okay, fuck you.
Nah, there's too many damn actors nowadays.
Jared, it's just that I recently watched The Menu. It was one of the things I ended up watching this week.
Yeah.
And I just saw it in the queue, so I was like, screw it, I'll go ahead and watch this. And it was not what I was expecting, and I actually enjoyed it quite a bit.
What movie?
The Menu. Everybody's expecting them to eat something disgusting, but all the food that's actually served in the movie is real food. It's not like they're not being served their loved ones or whatever.
Oh my god, you guys are talking about
and that would have been so easy to get a cheap pop, from a horror pop from that, but they went with a much more sophisticated idea, and I liked it a lot. It was one of my favorite movies.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Sorry, it took me a minute to realize the movie you were talking about. My wife and I watched that. Holy shit, that did not go the direction I thought it was gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I never heard of the movie.
The Menu?
Yeah,
The
I never
Menu.
heard of it.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was stellar. The acting, everything that was going on, all the stuff. I was like, holy crap. I was really engaged in the story and everything.
Oh, and the scene where they made the one guy cook was just so
Yeah.
uncomfortable. I mean, I literally,
Yeah.
my flesh was crawling watching
Yeah.
that. Oh.
He was, because he was posing himself as some sort of food expert, on his
Yeah.
and constantly taking pictures and prided himself on knowing what was in everything, but he couldn't cook obviously because he wasn't a trained culinary specialist. So yeah, he is, and I would love to know. Apparently, there's somewhere you can find what Ralph Fiennes' character whispered in his ear that made him go hang himself. And
I think it's better not to know.
I actually think it's better that we don't know because that's a mystery.
Yeah, I don't.
And such.
There are some things you don't need to know.
Right. Like what was in the in the briefcase in Pulp Fiction. We don't need to know what was in there. We just know that it was valuable.
Well, also another movie, Ronin. It was Ronin had Robert De Niro in it, and one of the things was we never saw what the MacGuffin was all. And at the end of it, it's like, what was in the briefcase? I don't remember. Rule number 2. So we never knew what was in the briefcase. All we knew was it was fucking valuable. And I kind of like that sometimes. I love the theories about like Pulp Fiction where people talk about it's Marcel's soul in the briefcase.
Yeah, people have speculated. But no, getting back to the menu, the other thing is that we've been seeing them eat like really bizarre but still edible food up until this point. So at the end, when he makes a double cheeseburger with onion for her, and did that not look good? I mean, he did it Oklahoma style.
No, I love how she stood up to him, and it's like the one thing he had been wanting from, he was like, hey. It's like, I do all this and you're still not happy. I mean, it's an amazing movie. I do agree.
Yeah. And then when she tells him that she wants a cheeseburger, he gets that Machiavellian glint in his eye.
Yeah.
Because it's, the only time, for those of you who don't know, in the movie, she sort of sneaks into his quarters on the island and notices, because she's a prostitute and she's supposed to pay attention to these kind of things, she notices that he isn't smiling in any of the pictures he takes, except for one when he was in high school and he was flipping burgers at Hamburger Howie's, and and he enjoyed cooking for hungry people, and that was the problem. When he became a gourmet chef, none of the people that he served were actually that hungry, So it was
It was really well. As far as this year, I hadn't thought about it in a little bit, but yeah, thinking about it, yeah, it was definitely very well done. She was the one outlier. Everybody knew that.
Yeah.
And it was like, honestly, she was the customer he missed.
Yeah. And he knew right away that she was in, quote, the service industry. And,
yeah.
It was funny. And what amazes me also, and this is something like if I showed this movie to my dad would not understand why any of the restaurateurs in there would have like tried to gang up on the cooks, like stand up for to defy them. And my dad I'd have to explain to my dad that these are the indolent rich. They don't do that. They will. They're used to being taken care of. They're not gonna do that. In fact, we see the dude bros, the tech dude bros that are there. They actually for a moment discuss maybe trying to rush the kitchen, but then they rationalize that, well, these guys know how to use knives. We don't. And it's like, yeah, they know how to use knives to cut things with, But as a weapon, no, it's a tool to them. But they were actually cowards, and they rationalized away their ability to stop this thing.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is, notice how the elites, while they complain and everything, are still kind of going along with it because they're expecting something. And it's just shocking that the only person who is like, okay, something's really fucked up here is the prostitute.
Right. And, the other thing that's interesting to me is when she was allowed to leave, in particular, the wife of the guy that she had actually serviced at one point, basically just nods for her to go. Like this is their fate, not hers, and they accepted it. It's just there's this weird thing that happens at that point that I liked that, even though I
Darren, did you catch the fact that apparently she looked a lot like their daughter?
well, yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
But I mean, but that was that was not. It was not just that. I mean,
Oh,
she,
yeah,
the wife knew that her husband had paid for this prostitute to service him, and yet she still, even though she looked like their daughter, she obviously knew she wasn't their daughter, and she still was okay with her, leaving and them staying to die.
Yeah, I think that was one of the reasons she was pushing for her to leave, was because she saw her as a daughter surrogate, whereas her husband apparently was attracted to their daughter.
Yeah, it's an ugly thing, but yeah.
But yeah,
There could have been more. There's a lot there that isn't explained fully, but yeah, you can surmise.
Well, then I think that's a good thing, because this is one of the worst things we've had in cinema is over explanation. You need to leave something subtle. You need to leave some things up to the imagination. You need to leave some things open to interpretation. Otherwise,
Right.
You're not going to have conversations like this.
Right. And it reminds me. There's apparently another Rian Johnson Knives Out movie came out, Knives Out 2, and one of the things that the critics all said about it was that that they hit us over the head too much with showing us that these people were dumb. It's like, okay, we get it, they're dumb. You've already shown this to us. Move on. We get it, they're dumb.
I'm sorry, I figured out who it was in the first 10 minutes.
I've never seen Knives Out 1 or 2. I don't really care for
It was really
I don't really
obvious.
care for Daniel Craig. I don't really care for Daniel Craig.
It was really obvious.
I might have to go back and watch Glass Onion, just because I did enjoy Knives Out, but even as bad as I've heard Glass Onion was, it's I want to see it just to see how bad it actually was.
But Daniel Craig is kind of funny, but it was kind of really obvious to me who did it.
We get it, Elihu. You're smart. Remind me of those people.
guys,
I knew that Bruce Willis's character was dead in Sixth Sense within the first 5 minutes. Like, okay,
Nobody
whatever,
did.
No, I didn't. I did until I found out about the red.
Everybody.
I had one person. I had someone tell me, "Oh, I knew he was dead from the beginning." I said, "No, you fucking didn't."
No.
I was like, "No, you fucking didn't." I was like,
Not if you.
it made
Not if somebody
sense
told you.
afterwards, but
Yeah. Well, they're so clever. I mean, M. Night blew a lot of people away with that movie, just because, like, there's that one scene where you think Bruce Willis and the mom were talking, but they actually weren't. It looked like maybe they had just finished a conversation or something, but they never actually, And in your mind, you think that they were talking. And then my dad, that got my dad. It's like, if you go back to that scene, no, they were staring at each other, sort of. He was looking at her, but she, of course, we now know, was looking right through him. And yeah, it's, and that poor M. Night, he never, there were people who hated him for fooling them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, there's a certain person kind of person that I run into once in a while who just hates M. Night, and because they probably got fooled by Sixth Sense, and they had sort of what I would call a narcissistic injury. And so, whether they get his plots or not, they're going to say they did, because they can't live that down.
well, I would say that, the fact that he shocked us like that was the first time I literally had been shocked in a movie. Like, oh shit, I didn't see this coming for a long time. I mean, this was not a formula we're used to. Unfortunately, Shyamalan's He's had some. He's kind of hit or miss, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. Well, his
Sixth Sense
problem.
was But I would definitely say Sixth Sense was definitely one of the highlights. I did like Split.
Yeah, I tell you, the thing with M Night is that he had such a knock it out of the ballpark first film that where do you go from there, right?
Yeah.
A director isn't going to be able to do that all the time.
They already got some. Sorry. Talking to Mrs.
Yeah, one of his worst projects was Signs. Like, why would aliens?
I loved Signs.
71% water. Come on, Earth is 71% water. Why would you come here?
Signs was perfect. You're an idiot.
Sorry,
I'm gonna be honest. I thought Signs was just boring.
Yeah, it was dumb. I'm like,
oh,
okay,
dumb. You're dumb. You're dumb.
Yeah. Hey,
well, I
the movie was dumb.
You're talking about Signs. I liked Signs the first time I watched it. Every other time afterwards, it gets dumber and dumber.
Yeah.
Sounds like the Dumber and Dumber movie. I can't stand anymore.
It's definitely a one-time viewing show.
I would agree. But what about that other one where what was that one with Joaquin Phoenix in it?
That would be Signs.
Was he in Signs? I thought he was in something else.
Swing Away Meryl. You don't remember that?
Swing Away Meryl?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I guess I blocked most of that out of my mind because it was so goddamn boring.
I forgot he was in it.
I was not bored at all in that movie. First of all, I like Mel Gibson despite his later kerfuffles. But the opening music was very Hitchcock. I mean, I liked it a lot. And
well, I definitely like the score. I would give you that.
The alien design too. I love that we didn't see him. I mean, that scene where he happens to see one on the roof of the barn looking at him through the window. That was well done. But the thing about it is the movie isn't about the alien invasion. The movie is about this family dealing with their little part of it. And I think a lot of people wanted to know more about the broader story of the invasion. And that, again, that's just not what the movie was about. So, they felt dissatisfied.
Yeah, wait a minute. I'm thinking of another movie, not this one, not Signs. What was the movie Joaquin Phoenix was in another M. Night Shyamalan movie? It was the one where they...
The Village?
Yes, that one. That's the one. Absolutely.
The one that
boring movie.
The entire movie that made the twist completely superfluous.
well, that's not that movie's fault. You know what happened with that movie, right? The script got leaked out on the internet while they were filming, and they had to change the whole premise of the movie on the spot. And that's what we got in the finished product. Originally, it was supposed to be that all those villagers were dead, and they didn't know it. They were living in a sort of purgatory, and the monsters in the forest were industrial machines coming to demolish their village. And
Jeez, that would have been a better arc.
Yeah. It was basically it was a ghost story, and at the when it leaked, M. Night didn't write it, but he had to have somebody else change the premise of the movie because he's M. Night. His whole shtick is twist ending, right? So that's when they came up with this relatively underwhelming, by comparison, version. But still, I think there's something there with the village. This idea that if you raise children in an environment, you tell them from birth of certain things, that's what their world is going to be.
Well, I understand that, but the simple fact is, I find it, I'm sorry, I can suspend disbelief, but you can't tell me somebody's that rich that they keep planes from going over all the time.
Yeah.
Well, you don't think that George Soros or Bill Gates could arrange something like that? There was a wildlife preserve that they all pooled together and bought, and then they raised kids there, and they were able to prevent aircraft from flying over and stuff.
They're always going to have civilian pilots that don't necessarily go over. They're going to be emergencies where people are going to need to fly the helicopters or something along those lines.
Right.
It's not believable.
Well,
Yeah,
even
that
in the
was the big
movie,
thing right
even in
there.
the movie, the secret got blown. So I mean, it's even the movie establishes that they couldn't maintain this. So yeah, it's at least not
Yeah,
forever.
and that's just where I mean, the movie was boring enough as it was, but
Yeah.
that's just such a suspense of disbelief I could not get around.
Time to turn the butter.
Yeah, if they wanted to make that even slightly more believable, is they have it as anytime someone starts to see a airplane or hears one, that's when they, call the alarm to everyone shelter in the place. That way, it explains why they don't actually see them. It's because the adults are shielding the children from seeing that stuff.
Or
Well,
they
if
could have made up. They could have made up saying the airplane is a demon bird from hell, and look at it's breathing fire at the end because of
well,
contrast.
Elihu, exactly. That was what I was exactly going to
Well,
say. Pretty much the same.
Well, first of all, I don't think these people were they religious? I can't remember.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So
Very.
there's that. But I mean, but again, a lie of omission and an outright lie are two different things. So I mean, it was much easier for them to just have planes not fly over. But eventually, it broke, and I find it interesting that of course the girl who's told all this is the blind one. She can't see things for herself, and I thought that was an interesting choice. Yeah.
And if it really was supposed to be a ghost story, that just makes me feel really sad. That means if you're
Yeah.
disfigured or something happens in life, that means you're still like that in death.
Well, yeah, it was yeah.
No, that would have made more. That would have made more sense in a purgatory aspect.
Right. That's what purgatory situation. But apparently, M. Night, he makes a movie that everybody likes, like Split, right? But then he comes out with Old, which a lot of people didn't like, based on a comic book, a French science fiction comic about a beach that makes you age rapidly, and the twist plot of it was that this island was used by the pharmaceutical companies to be able to test the long-term effects of their medications in short time. So so the people who died there died basically for the benefit of humanity. They just didn't know it, and the benefit obviously of these pharmaceutical.
I'm afraid I don't know that movie.
Yeah,
It came out recently.
there's a flaw in the movie with the guy who was there already on the beach. He should have been an old man by the time the family found him. That was the flaw. Like, okay, he aged very, very slowly. No explanation for that.
I think it could have been storyboarded a little bit better to make sure that everyone aged appropriately, because you'd have some people age very rapidly, and then some people that didn't age very rapidly. Maybe they should have had an explanation as to why that happened.
Yeah, the girl, she's pregnant, all of a sudden
Yeah.
she's the same age forever. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. There was in the comic they talked about how different people age differently at this island. Again, they never go into the mechanism that causes the aging, and a lot of people didn't like that.
Oh, I don't have an issue with them not explaining the mechanism, but I wish the results were explained a little bit better.
Right.
So, but I got a Jaloja soon, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. Anything you guys want me to play beforehand, or which one should I play this time?
Play what?
Is the volume still at max?
There's no way I can change it. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the okay. I just wanted a heads up so I can pull my earplugs out.
Well, thanks for having me, Vile. I will talk to you next week.
Alrighty. Which one do you guys want to hear?
I picked one time. It's Elihu's turn.
Or her,
So,
hail the Klingons. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Pick one.
We'll do this one.
Koi kelles puklod, koi pupet pu, yakbo matbo jesui, se machu me u, masu manong, and macho chu, nivei much of wong ku, but my children's eljo fish, ma fam who my dim correct, but you talk to my dad, como you talk, ma o. Koi
All right, you're 19 years old now. I figure it's about time you got one after all your complaining.
The worst fucking thing about that episode was boy band Klingons, and they weren't doing Klingon opera.
There is an alternate version that Mr. Horak recorded that's more operatic. It's been released online.
Well, that particular scene was not from an episode of Star Trek. It was from one of the VHS things, games.
The games, yeah.
Doesn't matter.
All right. I'll see you guys next week. Later, folks.
Take care, bud.
Later, weirdos.